How's everyone doing?
Good evening.
Hello, hello, hello. Hold on, let me make sure Pythos has permission to talk into here.
That would be a good thing.
Let's see. Pythos. Connect, speak. Yep, you should be able to talk.
Okay, good.
We'll do it quick to make sure that we can hear everybody. Yep, we hear them. Yeah, I can hear
Me
Ian.
now.
Good.
Yep, and Chris. Oh, Chris left.
Chris
He
just
walked away.
for a second.
Screw you guys. I don't want to do this anyway. All right.
So I'm drinking White Claws and eating a Lunchable. Welcome to the life of a
Did you go
Bachelor
sailing?
bed. I did. It was amazing
Yeah.
today. Steady 15 knots of wind, no waves. The boat is fast
Yeah.
as shit now. It's
Now they
so
redid-
smooth. It's back to like, all right, 2 clicks on the outhaul and trim the jib in half an inch, and then you lunge another knot. You're like, it responds
Nice.
so well. When we're not dragging 100 pounds of barnacles
Nice.
anymore. We destroyed everybody today. We didn't even put a spinnaker up. They had us go around the bar,
Yep.
counterclockwise. And we were like, every leg was a reaching leg. We finished dead downwind, coming
nice.
back in Hampton
Cool.
River. We jibed over. The bite that was trying to duck behind us didn't see that we were up against the blue water docks, and they crashed into a boat that was parked on the end of the T pier.
Oh,
at
no.
Blue water.
That sucks.
Yeah. I didn't see what boat it was. I just heard, oh my
Bam.
gosh, oh no, bam, pow.
I've seen a few boats sink out there. That's always fun. All right, Chris, do a mic check real fast to see here
Yep.
on Discord.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yep, here, Chris. I'm going to check a few things real fast just to see something. Okay. So it looks like Pythos, you are getting some static background through yours, but I think it's because you have an open air mic, which is fine.
It might be picking up the cooling pad I have underneath the laptop. I can turn that down a bit if it helps.
That's
Oh, yep.
probably it. That sounds
Sounds
exactly
like.
what it sounds like. 'Cause it sounds like a fan running.
How's that better?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little better. You can
It's
hear
not
it, but
as
it's
loud.
not as loud.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's important. So,
If you haven't noticed, we don't do perfect sound on this
No,
episode, so
we don't.
by all means, let's have a couple switches.
yep. So, yep, drinking White Claw tonight. Glad Ian's drinking as well.
Really hit
What? What did you say, Chris?
I'm drinking too.
Oh, you drinking too? What are you drinking?
Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker.
Nice.
Wild Walker. White
Nice.
Walker.
I would be drinking, but it is actually incredibly hard to drink in this getup,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
considering
I'd
I don't have
imagine
an
so.
exposed mouth, really.
Pythos is a cheetah on
pretty
screen.
dope, though.
He actually is wearing a cheetah mask, not just an avatar
Yeah.
or a filter. It's actually a mask.
This is like screenshot worthy.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, we should
Oh,
do
really?
And a
screenshots.
really expensive one, but which is why I don't want to get alcohol over
That-
it.
That looks really good. I thought you had a
No,
filter
this
on
isn't
it.
the filter. This is actually a professionally made.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
it goes all the way.
Let me see if I can put.
Oh man,
Let's
that's
see if
so
I can put it
cool.
down in Peter's chat.
I love it.
Costs like 5 car payments, but
Yeah, I bet. That's not off the shelf at Walmart. That's not a Halloween mask. That's
Let's
the real
see
deal.
if I can screenshots.
and there is actually
Here
a
we
tail
go.
to go with it. You just can't see it while I'm sitting down.
I'll upload the screenshot up there. So, boom. Yeah, there we go. So now everybody can see it. Pythos is a cheetah.
That's cool, man.
All right, cool. Anything else we need to do before we get started? There's not much housekeeping, and we have 3 chapters to cover, so I suggest we just go ahead and get going. You ready? Ready? Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Ian, you ready?
Yeah.
Ian, ready?
One cracker, cheese, and turkey
All right.
combo left.
You'll talk after I'm done with my spiel anyway. So, brief pause. All right, welcome to season 4, episode 20. Moving back over to parents' perspective for these chapters, but before we get going there, no real announcements this week. We have no new patrons after last week we had 4, so this week none. That's okay. And no big numbers we've hit. We're creeping up on Twitter to, I think, 1,800, but that's kind of an arbitrary number at this point. I'll make a big deal when we get to 2,000. So, going towards there. And, yeah.
You realize every time you say that, we jump by like 600 people.
Yeah, I know. That's why I say it. Keep those numbers going. And then we do have a guest tonight. So we have Pythos Cheetah coming to us from Detroit Rock City. So, Pythos, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us. He's a patron of ours.
Good evening, everyone. So I've been reading Wheel Time for a very long time. My aunt gave me the first 2 books, I think right around the time they came out. And it took me about 3 years of attempting to read them to actually get out of the 2 rivers. But once I did, I've never really looked back. I've probably read the first 6 or 7 books, probably 10 times each by this point.
Okay.
Impressive.
Awesome.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. And then next week
I'm a
we
librarian by trade, so reading kind of is my business.
That's awesome. You have to give me some book recommendations
Very
then. So we do have a guest next
Can do.
week. Yeah, we do have a guest next week coming on with us. So I'd like to announce that we have Loyal's Book Club. Both Prince Adeline's, Prince Adeline's brother and Eric are coming on to join us. So looking forward to having them on next week. Be a lot of fun with them. And that's it for really announcements. So moving to personal life. Wow. A lot's happened since last week. Let's see. I went drinking with Ian on Saturday night. That was a fun time. It was a shit show.
Shit show.
It was a fun time. I had a good time. And then I wake up early in the
great.
morning because we had to drive down to Virginia Beach because we met with friends down there, down in Sandbridge. It's more of a little off the tourist beaten path of Virginia Beach, and hung out on the beach.
Sandbridge, it's cute.
Yeah, Sandbridge is awesome. Yeah, and we hung out there on the beach and hung out with some friends of ours and their family. Had a good time. And then got back and decided that that it's time to go buy a new stove and microwave because I broke my last stove because I tried to burn down my house. Long story. So we ended up buying a new stove and microwave, and I decided to try to install them both myself, which a stove is really easy because you just pull it out and plug it in. Whoever installed my previous microwave, the previous owner, definitely did not do us any favors, and it was like a shoddy job, and we had to take apart and pull apart tons of stuff and rebuild parts of the cabinets, and it was just a mess. It took multiple days. I just finally got it done tonight. Been working on that for 3 nights in a row. So have a working microwave now. So my wife was a little upset about it just because we didn't have a microwave for 3 days, and the kids want to heat something up. We're like, oh, you can use the oven. So that's my life right now.
Burning down your house is not generally recommended.
No, it's not. But when you have kids running around, and my wife was at a meeting, and she left the food on the stove, and I was supposed to turn it down to low, and the kids were screaming in the other room, and I just ran in there to turn it down to low, and I turned it on high, and then ran back to the kids. And yeah. Fast forward an hour later, and there's smoke billowing out everywhere, and we yeah.
Thank God for fire
Yeah, well, no,
insurance,
nothing
right?
caught on
We
fire.
have done
just-
that at least once here.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, no,
We had
no.
a pot literally melt as we were taking it off.
Yeah, this one it cracked the glass because it's a stovetop that has the glass or whatever. It cracked the glass on it, and so we just got a new one, which is fine. But whatever. Fun times. This happened actually months and months and months ago, so this is not a new thing. It's just that we couldn't use one of the burners anymore, so it was still a functional stove, so we still just used it for a while. But then we finally bit the bullet and got a fully functional staff. So, with that being said, how about you guys? What's new in personal life for you?
I let some folks know we're recording a day late because yesterday I went to a concert. I went to see Santana. It was a bit of a double date. Meredith and I went with my dad and Jen, his wife. Those of y'all that are on Discord now, I just posted a picture from dinner beforehand because she's just so stinking cute. I can't get over it. The concert was amazing. We were like the youngest people there, but everybody was jamming, and like we were kind of joking. You know, she's a nurse practitioner. I was like, I hope you took note of where all the AEDs were when we came in here. There's gonna be like some heart attacks any moment. They're gonna stop the show and ask for a doctor or something. But no, it was good. Santana's mid-70s, and this guy is just all over the stage jamming. He hasn't skipped a beat. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing for another 10 years. It was great.
He knows how to
Glad I
use
did.
that walker really well,
yeah.
like with the.
This. You don't even need it, man. He is spry. It was impressive. And I just got the vibe like from everybody up there. They were just so chill and taking turns jamming and stuff. It was like, you know, the old high school, college group of friends playing at some parent's garage band or whatever, and just hanging out
Yeah.
and having a good time. And that's
Cool.
what it felt like. It was super
Awesome.
cool. So yeah, got a lot of chores around the new house this week. That's gonna be boring. A lot of painting, doing some floor work, blah blah blah. Getting ready for November 18th and 19th for the big house party
Yeah.
/ watching the show on repeat.
Over and over and over again. I'm trying to convince some of our patrons actually to come.
When does it come out again?
November 19th.
I think we might have one. We might have one. I won't say who yet because they're working
Okay.
it out. But
That would be cool.
Yep,
Yeah, I took the
somebody
day
said.
off, so I just have to I have to talk to my wife about it. I haven't done that yet, but I took the day off, so I will be available.
It's so sensitive. That's the week before Thanksgiving, so I know we'll probably be headed that way the next weekend. So,
Chris, you're really quiet.
maybe we'll make a trip out there.
Chris, you're really quiet.
Maybe we'll make a trip. Hold on. Can you
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
me?
Now you're beautiful.
Your mic stand is a little limp. It's
It
drooping.
is drooping. I don't know what to deal with.
When you let go of it, it just goes.
Yeah, how about, there we go.
There you go.
It's better, right?
Yeah, there's a Phillips head. So you can-
Okay.
yeah, there you go.
I was saying maybe I'll try to make it out there. We'll see.
Okay.
Anyway, personal life
That'd
for
be
me. So the COVID test came back negative, which is great.
That's
Awesome.
So the doctor was like, either you had COVID or you had the flu, one of the two. Which is fine by me. So Friday night, COVID test came back negative. So we're like, hey, we're hungry. Let's go out and grab a bite to eat and bring it home. That way we're still not around people, but we're still getting out of the house. I pull up to a stoplight. Look to my left, there's this black car. They're just kind of chilling beside me. I'm like, cool. And then the light turns green, and we both go. And then the black car gets closer and closer and closer. And the black car merges into me at about 35 miles an hour. So let me tell you, what pissed me off more was they hit me. I slam on my brakes after kind of recovering from the whiplash moment. Throw my car into park in time to see the car continue to drive by me. Yeah, I memorized the driver's plate, or license plate, excuse me. So I definitely sent that on to the police officers, who I called instantly. Got through the whole insurance thing. An hour and a half later, I'm still waiting for a tow truck and the police officers to show up. Big city life. It really sucks. The tow truck never showed up. Second round of police officers showed up because the first guy came there for 3 minutes and then flew off for something more important. We had to have the police tow the car, and I'm still waiting on insurance to get back to me because the tow truck was supposed to take my car from the police to the service place, today, and it's still sitting waiting. And again, my door is pinned in on itself, so That means the frame may be bent, which means they'll probably total my vehicle, which sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, might
that
get a
was
new
the
car out
steal.
of it. Maybe.
But we're alive.
Yeah.
And I'm good, and Chanel's good. Whiplash and some strains, and back really hurting right now, which y'all know my back is never my friend anyway. So the CBD vape pen has been a godsend.
There you go.
Yeah. That stinks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That's the worst.
You know, I'm learning to just take the grace in the moments that I do have, and enjoy the good stuff that does occur, because there's enough shitty things that happen in my life that I appreciate all the good.
That's good, man. Good perspective.
Yeah. Well,
Dude,
Pythos,
Alan,
anything from
like-
you? Anything going on up north?
Choppy for
He's a little laggy.
Hello?
Uh-oh.
Pythos, we're good. Like me and
Can everybody
me and
hear me?
Ian are here for you. Alan's just
Yeah, Alan.
Oh.
Alan, you just have a little lag. You're behind everybody.
Network error.
Alan's waiting on the next
Trojan
Matrix movie that's
Laird.
about to come out.
Okay.
The secondary reboot.
Because there's, I noticed it earlier. He was talking over some folks a couple of times.
Oh, he does that all the time.
I think he's just
Can you
lagging.
guys hear me?
And Pythos, you're on the same pace as Chris
Yes,
and
we
I.
Yep.
can hear you.
Yeah, it's really fine.
Hey,
I
so
just
Yeah.
Pythos,
Yeah, Pythos is good. I think it's just Alan lagging some.
Pythos, would you like to talk a little bit about your personal life while we wait on Alan?
Yeah, I
Sure.
don't know what's going on. My
about
internet
2
just
months
kind
now
of
into,
almost dropped out.
the
It
first
went
full-time
to,
job I've ever had.
And it might just dropped.
I'm officially my library's children's librarian now.
Awesome.
Though unfortunately we don't have any story times or anything planned because of COVID, so I haven't actually really changed my day-to-day duties at all. But I used to have health insurance now,
Yeah, that is great.
Hey, bonus.
and because I'm kind of second in command, that means I'm going to watch Wheel Time at work the day it comes out, and no one is going to stop me.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Love it.
I'm excited for that for you.
And hopefully all of this was recorded, and we'll wait and see if Alan catches back up.
No, he seems to have dropped it completely now. I only see you two.
Yeah, same here. He might be reconfiguring the power couplings.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Usually it's one of you two that's the problem.
I know, it's so glorious, isn't it?
There's always somebody that's off. Well, I'm on really good internet now. I'm at my new place. I have no furniture in here. I don't know if y'all saw behind me. There's nothing in here but an air mattress. But I got the internet installed on like day 2.
I'm on a
which is
laptop in the
fantastic.
basement running off of Wi-Fi, so if anyone's going to drop, it's probably me. But
Yeah.
I'm back
You're
now,
coming through
guys.
Good though.
okay,
Welcome.
Hey, what's up?
I'm going to see something. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Just to let you know, we're completely through personal life. We're talking good things about you.
Yeah, we just moved on to talking crap about Alan.
I think he's gone again.
Did
It
he
looks
freeze?
like it.
I thought he was thinking about what you said really hard, but he
Me
froze.
too.
It's like, we're making fun of you, Alan. Then he's like, eh.
By the way, do you see this? We have these huge beanbag chairs. They're huge. They're like adult-sized beanbags. Says we finally got a couch after 4 months, and I went down there and bitched some people out. We finally got a couch in here today. So now we have adult-sized
Very cool.
beanbag chairs that are up for grabs.
I got space next time you're heading
Yeah,
this
I'll
way.
drop one off to you
Throw
and
them in the
drop one
car.
off to my nephews. And like you can sleep on this thing. I've slept on.
Yeah, I love beanbags. They're
Okay.
great.
Okay.
See,
There we
Here
go.
he comes interrupting our conversation.
Can you hear us now, Alan?
I can hear you
Oh,
just
never
fine.
mind.
Can you guys hear me?
yep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me,
you're a little
Let me
pixelated, but
reconfigure-
otherwise we can hear you fine. Currently, at least.
And the timing sounded good there.
all right. So I switched my Wi-Fi connection off, and I think we're good now. So
Alan, what's 2 plus 2?
4.
Ooh, yeah, that was perfect timing. No lag.
Okay.
I like it.
Cool. Yeah, everybody clap on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Can you guys hear me on
that little
Discord?
guy. Don't worry about that little guy.
Can you guys hear me on Discord? Discord, can you hear me? Discord, can you hear me? Yes. Cool. Okay. I had to reconfigure the power couplings, get the Wi-Fi hooked back up the right way, and so that's another thing that happened too. Since since last week, is I rearranged my entire office.
Let's see. You have a new background.
Yeah, I got the closet behind me because I have a bed now right there. So I used to not have a bed in my office. So my computer used to be against that wall over there. But now it's against a different wall further away from the Wi-Fi. So I actually have a repeater and I wasn't logged into that. Because we had to put a bed in because, we don't have a guest room and we're having a kid. And my wife said that we need to put a bed in the office so when her mother comes in town or her father, her parents come in town, they don't have to stay in a hotel for an extended period of time, which makes sense. Although I'm like,
Yeah, and you'll have the space.
Yeah,
you
we
got
do.
the number of rooms.
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
not like you'll be
that's
making
fair.
another child anytime soon.
or ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I plan on getting a little snippy snip as soon as this one comes. So.
Snippy snap snap.
Snippy snip snip. So no, there would be no more kids. I'm done. So yeah, fun times. So, guys, ready to go into the chapter? Or are we still talking about stuff?
Nope, we're ready.
No, we're good.
No, we nailed all the personal life, so
Okay.
you should have it ready to edit later.
Awesome. All right. So let's move right into chapter 40. We left off many episodes ago with Tonight We Hunt Trollocs, and this chapter title is Hunter of Trollocs, and we got the Trolloc symbol. So,
You can really
Wow.
smell.
Super excited to be here.
You can really smell the leaves of the apple trees and the purple finch. You
Yeah.
can really hear it, and see it.
yeah.
Did you pick up on where they were at right when you read Apple Trees? Because once I read that, I was like, sweet, we're going to see Trollocs. Then I read Apple Trees, and I was like, dang it, I'm starting a Trolloc chapter in tears. Oh, no. Screw you, Jordan. You did it again in the first sentence. You ruined a whole chapter for me.
Yeah, we start with Perrin visiting his family's grave, and yeah, it's a little tough, but at the same time, he's counting out arrows and just getting ready to whoop anybody's ass who did this. And then one of the Lewins appears and announces that Fael and Luke are there to see him.
We'll take
Good
a
old
step
Lord
back.
Luke.
The fact that there's 14 generations at one time in there, that's really that's super disheartening. Is he like the only Abara left?
As far as we're aware.
That's- Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
And I know we said we think we know, well, we were told who actually killed his family.
Mhm.
But then, what if the rest of his family are Wolf Brother type people? They just didn't let him in on the family secret yet because he didn't reach wolf puberty. They're waiting for him to blossom. And maybe all the wolves that Lord Luke has been killing was his family. Like, I don't know. I think I've read enough that maybe that's not a thing, but I'm still thinking maybe it could
And
be
you're
a thing.
assuming Lord Luke
If I
is
say
doing
Lord
it.
Luke, Slayer. I should say Slayer. Yeah, because we also don't know. who
Yeah, like I'm
Slayer
at a
is.
point now where I'm doubting that Lord Luke is Slayer.
Yeah.
True.
Like, Lord
yeah,
Luke
by the
was
end
too
of these
good.
three.
He's just such
Yeah.
a dashing
Well, Lord Luke-
character.
Is a dashing character, whereas Slayer's the one that looks like Lan.
Yeah,
If I'm right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Malkir. Like like
That's two different
well,
people
we're
who
way
are
jumping
setting it.
ahead, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's
Yeah,
a
we
big
are
plus.
jumping ahead.
Going
so,
backwards,
let's get,
it is kind of interesting. Perrin was a little perturbed. He's like, how is it that I don't know that people are coming up on me when I have people out there watching? It goes to show that the people that he has with him really aren't skilled. They're skilled hunters, so you would think, or I would hope they'd be skilled hunters. But the other three boys that we watched come from the Edmonds field were pretty skilled, and they were able-bodied, in compared to the others from different areas. So you'd think the majority of the people from the Edmonds field would be able to at least track, scout, and then, know when people are coming up on you. But for the fact that there's two people, one of which is Fael coming up on them, that's slacking a little bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, they also inform him as well that Alana keeps on going missing without a word. Thoughts?
Yeah, and who else was surprised by her going
Her
off? Was
warder.
it one of her warders?
One of her
Yeah.
warders was. Yeah.
So that's where, we already had suspicions about her. And, Varen's given her warnings, but the fact that her warder, and she only has one warder or two?
She had to. One was killed, remember,
That's right.
by White Cloaks.
Right. And so her warder not knowing where she's going, I feel like that's odd.
I agree. But I mean, we have seen, women being controlled by another woman who kind of come and go as they're told.
Yeah. Well, Perrin's distrusting of both Alana and Varen at this point. Yeah, and Fael informs him that hundreds of people have been flocking to Emmons Field, that his ward's been spreading due to his warnings. And there will be stories told of the two rivers for thousands of years. Perrin Golden Eyes, Hunter of the Trollocs.
Kind of a cool name.
It
Golden
is,
Eye.
I like
Golden
it.
Eyes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he throws an S on there, so it's
Yeah.
not. We're not stealing from Bond, or
Bond,
anything. Yeah, no trademark issues.
No, exactly. So,
Yeah. So there's also a little back and forth about, how come you don't want Lord Luke knowing about the Aiel? And Perrin's like, look, of however many places that have been attacked, Lord Luke visited, I forget the exact
5?
number, but it's
Is
a
it
lot
5?
of them. Literally right before it happened. And she's like, oh, come on. Lukey Poo, there's no
That's
way
what
Lukey
got
Poo
me
could
is
do
how
that.
into him Fael seems to be. I'm like, is she really taking
Or
by
at least
his
giving
charm?
excuses for him. Yep. I think so. I think that might be a skill he has.
Or maybe a
I'm
power.
not saying he's a channeler at this point, but he could be. He could be Forsaken still, but just very different than the other Forsaken we've met. And if he's Forsaken, he could channel. And, maybe he has the skill of, what's the word I'm looking for? Compel a little bit, charm, I guess, like what you
I
said.
mean, we've had
Um,
another person that was really able to do that as well.
Sure.
She charmed you.
On the female side. Oh, yeah. Well, so apparently I'm not the only one. Now, I will say I didn't get spoiled in doing this, but I did let YouTube run for a little while after watching the trailer again, and it moved on to something that was spoilery, and it was some video about I don't know. I didn't watch it long enough, but I know right off the bat, the guy that was doing the video was all about Lanfear and how smoking hot she is and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, I know, right? It ain't just me. So there's other guys out there that are digging her.
oh, yeah. Matt Hatch from the Dusty Wheel, Lanfear's his absolute favorite. Which now he's hit 15,000 subscribers, so he has to do Manfear now cosplay.
Perfect.
Which we're still waiting for that one, but yeah. So yeah, Perrin.
Just shoot him a message for me and let him know that I called dibs.
Okay.
And
There you
dibs is dibs, bro.
Yeah, there you go. So, Perrin at this point is kind of pondering over the events of what's happened the last few days. They've been ambushing or hunting. They have been hunting Trollocs. I think a lot of the village boys didn't take him serious when he said we're going to hunt Trollocs. They're like, yeah, we're going to hunt Trollocs. Like, wait, we're really going to hunt Trollocs? Yep. So the first camp they took out had 30 something Trollocs, and the second one had over 40 in a fade. So, and they've they've taken out two camps at this point. So they're kind of trying to go around and there's these pockets of Trollocs everywhere. So what do you guys think about that? That there's, decent pockets of Trollocs scattered around to Two Rivers, and
It's
what do you think's going
quite
on?
confusing at the moment that we first read it. And that's all I'm gonna say there.
At the moment, so at the moment I'm reading this, not getting ahead a couple chapters, I'm still thinking, all right, the way gate is closed. So the Trollocs that are here that might have traveled through the ways, like they've been here. So then I'm like trying to recalculate in my mind, like, okay, how many came through before Perrin and them were able to shut it? And then if that's the case, how come there hasn't been more destruction? Because what we know about Trollocs is they'll just go from place to place and destroy shit. I don't know. And then by the time I try to process it, I got a couple chapters ahead, and I was like, oh,
Now we know.
Yeah.
someone opened it back up. But-
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was correct. It's at 50,000 subscribers that he's going to go with Manfear. So it's not 15. So he hasn't got there yet. Not quite to Manfear yet.
Well, the important thing is dibs is dibs. So.
Exactly.
I think it's interesting
go.
that if you think back to the very first book, a Fade and a bunch of Trollocs like burnt down half of Emmons Field, and now we're 4 books ahead, and Perrin and a bunch of boys who have never really fought or anything before take out a group of Trollocs and the Fade. So quite a bit of power creep here, even in
Yes.
the secondary characters. Not even talking about like Rand or anything.
They do got Aiel too helping them.
True.
Come on. Give the
Little
Aiel
Aiel
some credit.
help.
Yeah.
And there is the Manetheren blood that apparently was, dormant, but I get the feeling like as you poke and prod these guys, once they're forced to fight, they're forced to be reckoned with. And Perrin isn't building this grand army right now. He's not saying, give me every, able body. I don't even care if it's some old dude, if they can kind of shoot a bow. Like, he talks about it at one point. He's like he's only taking the good ones. And they got to be able to hang, and they got to, have some skill with the bow and everything. So he's like putting together his own little special forces unit. And there's even one part where it's talking about they're sitting around and nobody's shaving, either to try and look like Perrin or because it's miserable to shave when it's cold, or it's miserable to shave, period. But I just see like these little
I agree.
SF Edmonds Fielders, Two Rivers folk. Yeah, Yeah, so pretty cool. Small but skilled. And they're gaining. So also he's Taviran. So right, they're drawn to him. Everybody seems to be very impressed with what Perrin's doing. So that gives these young bucks confidence. And all of them have experienced some sort of loss recently. If not them directly, people that they know have been harmed by these Trollocs. So they're definitely willing to fight. They're motivated.
Yeah.
And they've got somebody awesome to follow. So it's a perfect storm right now.
And people will tell you this all the time, especially in military battles. If you go through history, heart has a lot that plays into winning battles. If there is no heart there, doesn't matter how much training, how much money, and how much equipment you have. If you don't have the heart to actually fight back, then not going to mention more recent examples of this. Spend trillions of dollars and training people, and if they don't have the heart to fight, doesn't matter. And that's tried and true throughout history.
Yep, you gotta want it. You gotta be motivated. And the training part is funny. I think I talked about this on another episode. Before my first deployment, you go to the field, you go to the ranges, and you practice and you train and you practice on all the weapon systems. And sometimes the people that are really good in a training environment freeze up and hesitate, or just they don't operate as well when the bullets actually start flying. And then sometimes there's the quiet guy that did horrible in the training portion, was always getting in trouble, like barely qualified on his weapon system. Then the bullets start flying, and this guy's going motherfucking Rambo and screaming and jumping over stuff and just sending rounds down range. So,
Yeah.
But it seems like Perrin's done a really good job of gleaning who he's going to keep in his party, who he's taking with him.
Yeah, and at one point, when Lord Luke shows up, he finally talks to them and says, "Hey, we should all go back to Emmons Field." And Perrin's like, "Well," and he's like, "Yeah, we haven't seen Trollocs or heard Trollocs in days. Maybe Perrin should be reasonable. Maybe we've killed them all. We should go back." And Perrin's like, "I'm not going back. You guys can go back if you want, but I'm staying here and fighting. I'll be a one-man army." And they all decide to stay after this. But yeah, it was a little speech there where he was, yeah. I don't care what you guys do. You just don't have to fight. But
Well, so I'm gonna be fair
I ain't
to my
going
boy
nowhere.
Perrin here. I gotta come to the direct quote puts him in a different light. Now, mind you, his own thoughts at the end are a whole nother subject. But he's like, we're hunting Trollocs. Not everyone has left their farm yet, and every band we find and kill means farms not burned and more people with a chance to reach safety. So he's doing it for a very chivalrous reason, not just because he wants to kill Trolloc, because he's trying to make sure that his people survive. Now, he begins to doubt himself later, but you know, I believe in Perrin.
And I don't think he's really trying to give these boys shit. I mean, there's one in particular he seems to,
Dislike.
you know, verbally jab a little bit.
Will?
But when he says, yeah, when he says, look, anybody who wants to go home, I mean, just go. I'm not going to make you stay. It's your choice. And I didn't get the vibe that he was trying to guilt him into it or attack their pride or anything. I'm sure they felt that way when they heard it. But he was like, me? I think there's more out there. So I'm gonna keep looking for him and mess him up. But if y'all want to go, go. And
Right.
and if people would have chose to go back, I don't think he would have judged them.
Nope.
Because at that point, he only wanted people with them that wanted to go hunt Trollocs. You know?
Yep. True. So anything from this before the Aiel show back up? Anything
Yeah,
that
you'll
we're
show back
missing?
up?
Yeah, Gaul and Banshee,
Oh.
they appear.
I probably
yeah.
should.
Yeah. Well, they're the ones that inform them of the new
I
location of
should
Trollocs,
probably
right?
read the chat. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I'm ready for that because I was literally about to start talking about that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
right,
so-
literally right at the end of this speech, bam, they show up and they're like, by the way, we found Trollocs. They're in this location, heading in that direction. There's this many of them. And the best part of all of that is
The smile on Perrin's
Perrin
face.
turning to Lord Luke and be like, hey, Lukey Poo, why don't you come show us how it's done? And Luke adjusts his belt and makes himself, well, so there's more things I need to go tend to back at HQ. I'm gonna go write up some reports and put a cover letter on that TPS and, just a lot of, I'm gonna have to go take care of that. Fael, why don't you come with me? Fael's like, fuck off, bro. And he's like, okay.
It's funny. Luke smiled fractionally. It's just a smirk, a slight grin. But see, okay, so I have to pause here for a minute. Knowing what I know about what happens next, Luke made the right decision.
Or is Luke the one giving out
That's
intel?
my other and now that's the other statement I was going to make is let's move forward, and that way we can say that now who the fuck snitched statement.
So
Slayer or not
when I
Slayer,
talk
he's
about
still
Lord
sus.
Luke, still
Exactly.
very sus.
I agree.
Thank you. And we're assuming all the Forsaken operate in a similar manner. So he could be Forsaken, but maybe he's more like
Lanfear?
the Loki type character. He's not like in your face, I'm just going to lead armies and crush you sort of thing. Maybe this is part of his skill. He butters you up and and
Like
then
Lanfear?
has a little team of Trollocs to sneak
Like
in there
Lanfear?
and whack you, and then he goes, "Oh
Maybe
no, what
his
happened?
best
I'm still your
friend's
friend. I'm
Lanfear."
trying to help."
You know,
are you talking about
gotta
wifey
do
like that?
Like, I'm sorry. I know you hear me. I know you hear every word I'm saying. No, but I completely agree. So it's like Fael frowns at Perrin because clearly she agrees with Luke, but she's not going to sit here and show her man up in the middle of everything that's going on, especially now that he's Perrin Golden Eyes. Like, she's got to stick by his side and support him, even if she disagrees. And she's like, you still don't trust him? And he's like, I don't trust that hoe. No, I'm not going to trust him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And maybe he does. Maybe he definitely does because he's controlling what these Trollocs are doing. I don't know. But I do know this much. The fact that we go after the Trollocs, we have the suggestions of the Aiel people of how best to surround the Trolloc and destroy them. And then for the Trolloc to end up getting behind the crew, somebody snitched. I don't care. Somebody said something.
Yeah. Yep. That's an intel leak. It's like they knew what their plan was going to be
Yeah.
and responded to that.
Yeah, and Perrin doesn't trust Luke at all. I mean, he even has the quote where Fael asks him, like, do you trust Luke? And he says, I trust you, my bow, and my axe.
And she blushes.
That's it.
it.
Right. So, yeah, so at this point, they they head out to go fight the Trollocs. They wait for over an hour until the Trollocs finally reach them. And then all of a sudden they realize that the Trollocs are attacking from behind. So they've been suckered.
Two giggities? Does that get
Does it get-
giggity?
The Trollocs,
They took it from behind. Once he realized he was getting it from behind, he turns and screams,
Fire! My mother!
All right, that's 3 giggities now that I think about it.
he does shout out to
Yeah.
Fire.
Little bit of overconfidence there by Perrin, because I feel like it's not just the time going by, but even he was thinking about it. He's like, look, the way the wind's blowing and everything, if they're coming from that direction, I should be able to smell it. And he's right. So we've been building up, his character's been building up where he's trusting his instincts more. He's starting to embrace a little bit more what this Wolf Brother stuff's giving him. And then at this point, he's just absolutely certain that they're in the right spot. Nothing bad can happen, even though all of the signs are pointing to they're not coming from the direction we thought.
Right.
And it was just the very last second that, the wind swirled and he realized, holy shit, they're behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, they didn't just get the jump on him.
Mm-hmm.
They got the jump on some Aiel, too.
Yep.
Perrin was the first to realize that they were coming from behind. So like you said, Chris, there's no way for them Trollocs and Fade to get that sort of jump. Somebody spilled the beans.
Do you think that last second wind swirl was the Taviran thing?
Poison. I didn't think about that, Pythos.
Very much could be.
I didn't even think about that, but it would make perfect sense.
Poison.
I mean, how much worse would it be if he wasn't able to? So it's not just Perrin realizing and be able to redirect the fight, but maybe in that split second, even maybe Fail heard him and they were able to be on guard. I think he's already starting to scream, like, rally to him. They're behind us. That gives everybody else, the Edmonds Fielders, that extra split second to be able to turn and redirect their attentions.
True.
You're right.
So let's take a pause right now for an emergency meeting. If you guys remember back in early COVID days, we played Among Us a lot. Yep. So who is it? Who's the imposter? Who's sus?
At one point I thought it could be our Aiel friend. Because we did make the statement, we don't know if there's any Aiel Dark friend.
And they were the ones who told him about it in the first
I don't get
place.
that vibe, but that's true. I don't get that vibe, but you're right. It's on the list of possibilities.
Yeah.
Anyone you can eliminate?
And then who's the other ice?
Laura Luke, of course,
Who's the other Aes
rode
Sedai?
off.
Alana and Varen.
Yeah, so Alana's still pretty
And
sus.
she has been disappearing.
She's nowhere near, though.
Her warder, I think, is also sus.
Gull, our stone
High five.
dog.
I mean, he just happens to show up to save the day and, dice up the fade.
Yeah, but we have to talk about what the
Alright,
fate
he-
says before we get to that.
Yes.
Yeah. So he calls out for Fail. Fail? Oh, you're Fail. She was delicious. Yeah.
Well, dumb on his part,
Yeah.
because that really that gave Perrin just enough adrenaline and fight to be able to hold him off. And obviously not defeat him, but hold him off until the warder could come through and finish him off.
Well, he almost died. I mean, he slips in the mud, and he's about to die until the
Yeah.
water shows up just in time. Yeah, Ivan does.
Just
And that could be a
in time.
Taviran thing, too.
Just in time. Yep.
But,
Yeah, so this is tough. I don't normally believe in coincidences, but the Taviran thing, I don't know. I guess Jordan leaves the door open for that. Normally when there's a coincidence like that, the people involved are automatically sus in my book. So that's why I was thinking very heavily, all right, this warder, even though he's pretending to be surprised that, oh, my Aes Sedai disappeared, I don't know what happened, he might be in on it with her, which makes sense if she is sus, if she's Black Aja, or if she's up to some nefarious whatever on her own. Like, wouldn't she bring her warder in on it? I mean, why not? She can compel him to do what she wants, right?
that's true.
Right.
It would make sense if
So maybe it's both of them.
if she is Black Aja, and I'm not saying she is or isn't. It would make sense to have a Darkford warder.
Right.
That or my question is if she breaks her ties with the White Tower, whether or not that frees the warder. Like if she, forsakes her oaths, does that free her warder to then have free will? That's something I had been thinking about for a minute.
They haven't
and
really
then,
gone
of course-
into the specifics of how you make that bond yet.
The
So
bonding and
Yeah, we haven't gone into the making
Touched
it,
on
the
it some,
breaking
but-
it, the control of it. Like it's almost like a Shan thing, but instead of having a bracelet and a necklace attached, it's a mental, ball and chain.
Yeah, we've gotten into a little bit about the bond, but just basically that the warders get some kind of added benefits from it,
Yeah.
some keen senses and things like that, better fighters.
But what are the rules? What are all the rules?
Yeah.
rules are there ain't no rules.
And
I mean, Moraine talks to Lan a lot about the bond. Like, does the bond chafe, on you? It's
she makes it sound like it's a physical. There's like a physical aspect to it. Of course, there is the mental because that's really all it is. But I just want to know more about it.
yeah, it's been implied that they can
Yeah.
make their warders do stuff with the bond, but we've never actually seen that yet, or at least that we know of.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after this great attack scene, it's the Two Rivers party has been pretty much devastated. I mean, Perrin calls them to rally to him. The men come. The ones that are still alive. Notices that Fael's still alive. He's relieved by that. But then he learns that 27 of his men were killed in this skirmish. So
Out of how many?
60? Or
Did
was
he
it
have
70?
100? 70?
I think it was I think it was 60 or 70. But it's still a large. That's still a large percentage.
Half.
Yeah, which is
We're talking half.
That's still.
Third.
Yeah, it's still not a good battle.
No. And you get the biggest no
that's a
shit
lot.
Sherlock moment of the whole book. They didn't come as we expected. Well,
Yeah.
duh. Yeah. I'm so glad
There
you
it
got
is.
That's what she said.
It was all on the back.
Yep. Oh,
I'm just it's implied at this point.
I'm just gonna stop there. Yeah. So after anything from this whole attack scene, I mean, anything else you want to talk about before we move to the end of this chapter?
Well, we haven't even really mentioned Perrin getting injured yet.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Good point.
Oh yeah. Well, Perrin took an arrow.
Cry me a river.
Sucks. It sucks that he took it right off the bat, and somehow was able to fight through it and still whack a few people and at least survive the fade.
Yeah. I can't imagine taking an arrow. Like, I mean, like a gunshot wound's pretty clean. It usually goes in and out. At least if it does, it's good. If it goes in and out, it doesn't hit anything vital.
Yeah.
An arrow is just brutal.
It's like getting a foot
I
fist.
It's like
Sure.
big and it's still there and it's protruding.
I mean, I was once in an adventure and then took an arrow in the knee, and then Skyrim reference. No, my father's been shot by an arrow.
Really?
Yeah, when he was in high school, or I think it was in middle school. He got shot by an arrow by his friend. They were out hunting wabbits, of all things, with bows. And his friend was wearing moccasins, but he didn't lace them up, so they're flip-flopping, down low. So my dad decided to take a shot, and while it flipped down, he nailed the heel of his friend's moccasin to the ground with an arrow, kind of showing off. And his friend tried to do the same thing, and my dad took an arrow to the calf.
I could just see like a Family Guy scene of like 5 minutes of. I could be too.
If you think
Well,
about
he
it,
never went to the hospital either because he was so scared his father would beat the shit out of him for going hunting
Yeah.
with arrows. That
No,
like
just rip it out.
He ended up breaking the arrow off and then pulling it out himself, and then wrapping it in bed sheets and throwing the bed sheets away so his parents wouldn't find
That's
out.
gangster.
And yeah,
Yeah.
like literally end up pushing the arrow through and then just like holding the wound shut, and never went to the hospital, never did anything, and just threw the bed sheets away and try to cover it
Yeah.
up. It was actually funny. He never told his mom until we were adults. So my grandmother was over for dinner, and I brought up the story, and my dad's like, "So there's something I never told you."
By the way, Mom. That's great.
Remember the time I had a lip for like a few months back when I was in middle school? Yeah. I took an arrow to the leg.
I still run into that all the time. Well, and especially like Alan, when you're around at my mom's house, we'll start telling stories about back in the day, and my mom will be like, "Wait, what?"
What?
And I'm like, "Oh, we never told you that? That's crazy." I would have thought the cops would have told you that 6 squad cars showed up to your house.
Your mom's like, I owe you so many
They-
more ass whippings than I thought.
Right.
My parents get to the point where if I
happens.
start telling stories from high school, they say we don't want to know. We just don't want to know.
They're so happy, like you've made it to where you are, Alan.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're-
You've
they
given
just-
us grandchildren. We're
Right, we're happy. We don't want to
You're
know.
doing
what
good now, so whatever
Yeah.
it took to get here,
Yeah,
just keep it to yourself.
for yourself. We don't want to know. So yeah, after this whole entire scene, and Perrin takes an arrow, they decide that they need to find some place to hunker down and camp, and they hear music and head towards the music. So,
Because that's not.
what did you guys
us.
think when you when you said they heard music? What did you guys think?
Oh,
Like,
right away.
Did you
I
think
knew it was
like
travelers? Like who else?
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, you read the chapter titles to us,
Sure.
so
Into the thick of it.
yeah, that
point.
was an easy click.
Yeah.
Into the thick of it.
Okay.
I was hoping on Chris's behalf that we'd run into Elias more than anything. I cared less about the Tinkers, more about
I
Elias.
like
so.
Ready
Little
for
disappointment here.
Elias. And then it's like, have you seen Elias? I'm like, well, throw the book in the air, walk off. I'll come back to it
Same
in an
here.
hour.
I was like, this chapter's not fun anymore. Because they're just going to sit there and go, everybody be peaceful. And Parents would be like, literally, we've been fighting Trollocs for like how long? Like, I've killed so
Do you
many
see the
Trollocs. I'm not
arrow
going to
in
stop
my
killing
body right
Trollocs.
now?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a fucking arrow in my body. I'm going to go find whoever, did
Yeah.
all this. And
Yeah, you can't pull an arrow out. You got to push it through. It's I don't know if you've ever seen.
when they say these are barbed,
yeah.
so that makes it even worse.
Yeah, you got to push it through. Doesn't come out. If you try to pull it out the same way it came in, you're gonna leave a lot worse of a wound. It's gonna pull everything out with it.
Chunks of flesh.
Yeah, I used to. If you ever see like hunting arrows, most people when they shoot bow and arrows, they shoot them at camp or something like that, and they use training arrows. So they're just like the ones that have like little rounded
Blunt
tips on
tip.
it, blunt tips, or even if they have a spike, it's just like a smooth spike. An actual hunting tip arrow, at least the ones I've always seen or used. They have like razor sharp flanges that snap out as soon as they go in. So
Yeah. They don't
if you
come
try
out.
if you try to pull them out, it's like twice the size coming back out, and it's gonna cut everything on the way back out. So
Yeah.
It ain't
And I don't know if
coming
you've
back
seen
out.
Rambo.
Someone else
If
that
you get the
does
tips that explode,
oh,
bro,
yeah.
Giggity, giggity,
it's going to mess
giggity.
you up.
I'm impressed at how well Perrin's handled that arrow, though. If you think about Tam took like one
He
nick
took it like
from
a
a
champion.
Trolloc sword, and then he was like delirious an hour later. And Perrin has this arrow in him for like half a day, and he's still upright.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought about that, and I guess a couple options, like maybe this arrow wasn't tipped with whatever poisoned Tam. That's possible.
Poison.
But if it is, we all know that the wolves love, their favorite thing to do is to hunt Trollocs and tear them apart. And the only thing better than that is if there's a merge roll, they're like, oh hell yeah, like they pounce and they don't care. They're like honey badgers going after cobras, like, and maybe they're able to withstand the venom, the poison, a little bit better than your average
see-
man. So if anybody else in the group got caught with that arrow, it's possible. You're right. Maybe they survived the wound itself, but the poison gets
But your
them.
arrow came from a Trolloc and the blade was from a Myrtle, right?
No, the blade that got Tam was Trolloc.
It was a Trolloc blade.
You're
Yep.
right.
But it wasn't a Trolloc arrow.
Right. So again, it might not have been
Yeah, dipped in
or
poison
tipped or
whatever.
poison or whatever, but
Which would be stupid. I would definitely try to kill you. with
He
poison.
did say that they
Right.
don't.
If
use
I had
those
something I
often,
could dip my
so.
stuff in and
Yeah.
Yeah. Or he could
Or-
have
or-
Princess Brided it and like actually built an immunity so he can trade the cups
Right.
back and forth and
But I know that you know that
that
I
I
know
know
that
that
you
you
would put the
know.
cup in front of me. So this is my. And then wait a minute. Why am I stabbing myself with an arrow? This doesn't even make sense anymore.
So you think
I was gonna say, crazy theory. You could write it in pencil, but maybe these attacks are, obviously they don't care about killing the Edmonds fielder, but maybe the intent was not to kill Perrin, but still they're trying to push him in a certain direction or guide him or control him, whatever. So I don't know that Trollocs would have the ability to think that smart or have that sort of
Fades-
strategy, but
Fades would.
Fades would.
But FaZe
So,
didn't
like,
control this.
maybe
group.
they didn't actually want. Yeah, maybe Fades didn't want to actually kill Perrin.
Yeah,
Somehow they're trying to play head games with him, and
maybe trying to capture him. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Because we've heard that. I mean, in book one, I mean, their goal was to they had catch poles. They were trying to capture him, not kill him. So maybe they're
True.
still trying to capture. But yeah, we'll see.
who knows?
Anything else from these chapters, or anything that we
He said
missed
that
we
thoroughly,
didn't
like
talk
we've
about?
talked about more than one.
Oh, this chapter.
Yeah, still in the first one.
So Fayo's alive though and didn't get eaten.
Yeah, that's good. Good news.
So
The Mergel can lie.
the merger was just fucking
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
It didn't work out for him though. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what that merger was thinking. It was-
Yeah, it probably wasn't a good strategy on his part.
No.
No, not at all. So, you guys ready to move to the next chapter?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and keep going. Chapter 41, Among the Tuatha.
Among Us.
Tuatha. You have to swallow it. Tuatha. Tuatha.
It's a guttural sound in the back of your throat.
Yeah, yeah. And our symbol is the trifold leaf, little vine thingy. Like, the way
What
the...
did Cinderella say when she got to the ball?
Tuatha. 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 Tuatha.
Sure, the Tinkers would love that joke.
So, yeah.
The judgment on the cheetah face right now is so real.
He stays so neutral. We crack jokes, and he's just like, okay.
You're still
Sure.
immature. This is
The
why
cheetah.
he said I work with children, and I
Yeah.
feel like I'm with them right now.
Well, I have to wear this because I
Pretty
can't
much.
let my expression give it away. Every time you get something right,
Yeah.
or hideously,
No, it's
hideously
perfect.
wrong.
Yeah.
I'm used to looking at the guest, especially when it's tree. Like, I'll make a guess, and then I'll look and be like, let's see if they have a tail. But you have no tails. There's nothing.
Yeah.
You have a
You've been
tail,
challenged.
but no
Can you
tail.
beat us? Can you get rid of your tail?
And well, it probably will come off at the break, so then
Yeah.
you'll get everything in chapter 3.
Hey,
There you
there
go.
we go.
There you go. So, so we pick off right where we left off, where Perrin's headed into the camp, and it's the Tinker camp, and decide to spend the night there. The Aiel decide that, nope, we ain't
Cole's
going
like,
there.
I'll go somewhere else. Like, I don't even need to go there.
And we learned this from the Crystal Columns, how they feel about Tinkers, but at the same time,
It's
like,
their own fault.
man, you guys are messed up.
Yeah.
They can't really feel threatened by him. So,
No.
like, I don't like the fact that there isn't at least a curiosity among these
It's a
Aiel
prejudice.
to learn about this group of people. You know, I don't know. I've just always had that in me. Like, even, I was raised a certain way, and not that my parents were like wildly racist or anything. My mom's certainly not, but like, just generational stuff and sayings or whatever that they would say and that they were taught when
Right.
they were kids, and it slowly gets better generation to generation. But anyways, even though like I would hear some things, I'd be like, well, I'd rather form my own opinion.
Yeah,
So to do that, I need to meet them and talk to them.
my parents, no, my grandparents, different story. Yeah, but
My grandfather.
Unfortunately, there's bigotry and stupid reasons to dislike people everywhere. But I guess I never take other people's word for it. I'm not like, well, I have to hate this group because
Yeah,
whatever
because
reason.
I was told.
I'm like, well,
Yeah.
when I get a chance, I'm gonna go talk to these people. But there's none of that from the IEL. They're just
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like, nope, we're going this way. Screw y'all.
Yeah, I mean, you get that in a lot of places, especially, and a lot of it has to do with ignorance. I mean, especially if you've never talked to groups of people before. I mean, I know, I'll give a really good example. There is at least somewhat around 9/11, 20 years ago, and shortly thereafter, a very Islamic phobia thing that started in America, especially since we're at war with Iraq and
Huge.
and-
You're sugarcoating it. It was bad.
was
Actually,
bad.
for a while.
It was really bad. And when I sailed overseas, I went to Indonesia, Malaysia, and those are Muslim countries. And definitely they had the impression that all Americans hated them. And getting to know those people, like, awesome people. And it's there's lots of stereotypes that Americans have, and there's lots of stereotypes they have about Americans too. Very, very, it goes both ways. Very.
Yeah.
I met a Pakistani in Singapore that was, very anti-American, and we actually had a long talk over KFC, actually, of all things.
Bringing people together.
Bringing people together.
That's-
And
That
one
story's
fried
finger looking
chicken.
good
Yeah.
there, Alan.
and it was great. We actually ended up coming to, I mean, he never had actually ever met an American. And when I finally told him I wasn't American, he didn't believe me because we had been talking for a few hours at that point. And he was like, "No, you're fucking with me. Blah blah. You're not really an American.
You'd be a total a-hole if you're
if you were American, you'd be a horrible person." I was like, "No."
Inherently.
Definitely Canadian.
That being said, I'm hoping somewhere along this journey there's some reason for them to, bridge that gap, and finally someone sits down around a fire and just starts a conversation.
And then they find out that they have
know.
the song the whole time.
Wouldn't that be? Oh,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be crazy? The IEL that we know are the ones that happen to have the song. They just didn't know they had it.
Yeah. Sandstorm by Darude. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's the song. Or is it Never Gonna Give You Up? Give you up.
That's the Soldier's Creed.
Yep.
if you read through the U.S. Army's Soldier's Creed, read through it, and then think about getting rickrolled.
Yeah.
It's literally the same
The
thing.
same thing.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna
Never
let you
let you
down.
down.
I will never leave a fallen comrade. Not gonna desert you. How about
Yeah.
that?
There you go. So yeah, so the IEL go their own separate ways. And Perrin notices that he knows these people. He's like, "Hey, we've met before. I know you."
And he knows the secret handshake.
Yeah, he does. So
I hope in the show, instead of him actually doing like the correct response and everything, I hope he walks up to him and starts to dap him up, and then pat
Yeah.
the shoulder, and then the thumb lock, and then the twist, and then they clap ankles and turn
Yeah.
around and like smack hands and like, oh, like the super secret
super secret handshake.
And that's when the IEL roll their eyes and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm out of here.
I love it. He's
Yeah.
like, do, what chance? Of all the tinkers in the world, what chance it should be folk I know? Coincidence made him uneasy. When the pattern produces coincidence, the will seems to be forcing events. I'm beginning to sound like a bloody Aes Sedai.
As far as the chance, well, there's literally only
feel-
one group of Tinkers we know. Conservation of
For
character.
all we know, this might be the last group left.
Yeah.
But
There
so
you
I
go.
will say, like, this sounds like the old Perrin, the one that's thinking like
Yeah.
3 steps ahead, who's staying on his P's and Q's. The one that we met that we thought was a block, and then we find out that he's not, and then he becomes a brick, and now he's kind of not. So
Yeah.
He seems to go back and forth.
Yeah.
does.
He does. So Rain's wife Isla comes out and she's like and greets him and says,
Hey, boo.
"Wait, are you with Elias?
and
Is Elias with you?"
this is when I throw the book.
I mean,
Yep. Because Perrin was also, he's like, I don't believe in coincidences. I see these people. I've seen them before. I know these people. But I think Perrin was also more interested in running to Elias than this group of people.
yeah. Yep.
So
It makes
He's
me
like, wait, why
wonder
is it not with-
everybody was disappointed.
if Jordan
Yeah,
will ever
everybody
bring
was.
Elias back. I think Jordan's like messing with us, like sneaks
Yeah.
the 12th one in just every now and then just to make us excited, and then he's like, nope. It's like I gave you a little bit, and I'm taking it back.
They'll show up on the last page of book
The
15
fine-
saying, "Hey, what did I miss?"
Giggity.
Yeah, the final book, the last page. Let's show back
Yeah.
up like, hey guys, I'm still here.
Yeah.
So
I mean, all things are possible here. Elias could have been taken out by Slayer.
He,
I mean, do we have anything that says we know he's alive now, or maybe he's been injured and not quite dead yet? I don't know.
yep,
All sorts of things could have happened.
maybe.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah. So after this whole entire Eliza calendar, Perrin notices a lot of his men are hurt, and of course he has wounds himself. So they try to get them to tend to the wounds. They agree to do what they can, but they're not the best at this. But they try. And Perrin, yep,
They got some herbs and mashes and
yeah.
chew up this weed and spit in the wound, and a lot of times that old fashioned stuff actually works pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they don't have the skills for the arrow.
Yeah, and as everyone's getting healed, Perrin gets helped off this horse by Ivan because he's obviously injured. And at this point, he talks to Rain, and he's like, "Hey, you guys probably should move to Evansfield too. We're gathering people there. It'd be safer. There's lots of Trollocs around here. We've been hunting them." And he's like, "Yeah, no, people. It's kind of not our thing. We'll be good." Like, yeah.
I was actually a little surprised that Perrin even suggested that. Like, I think the Tinkers understood the threat that was out there even the last time they ran into him. And from what parents should know about him, like, that was going to be a hard no.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Yep. Yeah. Anything
I
other
guess
thoughts?
he was
Yep.
trying to Taviran them in.
Yeah,
How
he
come
was.
he was So here's the thing. How come he was so easily able to Taviran all the farmers that were like, hell no, I ain't abandoning my farm. No, my family been on the farm, 16 generations farming this farm. And parents like, but you should go to Emmonsfield. And they go, well, no, you say it like that, and babe, what you think? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, yeah, let's go to Emmonsfield.
go.
And they all just change their mind and go.
Yeah.
Like little to no effort. But these guys are like not even. Again, I have to jump forward a little bit because eventually when they're going to leave, he makes the offer again. And this guy's like, all right, yeah, Perrin, watch this. Hey, everybody, raise your hand if you want to go to Emmons Field. And they all, not only do they not raise their hand, but they look at him like, why
No.
would you even ask that? You might lose your job as our leader because you asked that question. It's a horrible question. So you'd think Perrin would have been a little bit smarter about that. But anyways,
Yeah.
his Taviran-ness did not work on them at all.
Well, maybe the
Yeah.
pattern has other plans.
Yeah.
What a cheap plot you weave with that BS. This doesn't make sense. All the people that have read the series 10 times giggle. They're like, wait till book 12. You'll finally get it.
That's just been me this entire
So yeah. So
That's why I'm wearing this.
sure. Sure. So yeah, they go. He goes to Rain's, I guess, wagon, and Isla goes to look at his wounds. And while they're doing that, Ivan comes in as well and starts to discuss the battle. And Perrin feels a little down that he failed, and Ivan's trying to like give him some good old coaching or talk him up like, hey, it could have happened to anybody, man. This is not your fault. What happened. Any commander could have been ambushed like that. Don't beat yourself up. And Isla looks at the arrow, says, yep, I can't remove it. Arrow's barbed. But yeah, stay here.
Yeah,
And
well, it was like, I'll try. And I mean, if you know somebody else better suited to take this out, you should probably do that. But if there's
Yeah.
nobody else, I could try.
yeah.
That's that moment where it's like, I could deliver this baby, but it's my first time. I'm not a doctor. We're on an elevator. Do you really want to do this? It's like,
Yeah.
I think it'll hold out a little bit longer.
Exactly.
I've been watching the nanny.
Yeah.
Guys, sorry.
She gives him some tea though for the pain, which helps. I guess
Knocks
maybe.
his ass clear.
Some of that CBD tea.
Yes, that shit's
Yeah.
great.
Well, if
Some of
anyone
that
has the
wacky
finger
tobacco
seal.
tea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. I didn't think exactly what.
That's
it
why
was.
they're down by the Two Rivers. They're reloading on that Two Rivers wacky tobacco.
Uh-huh.
Like, this makes the best tea.
Yep. Exactly. So, any thoughts about this whole? What do you think's gonna happen? I mean, obviously we read to the next chapter, but at this point, thoughts about the arrow and
Parents certainly
state
ain't no
condition.
Alter Harkwing. He surely is not Alter Harkwing at all. It would never have happened that way. Or maybe it would have. I think Perrin really gets down on himself. He's really getting in his own head. I mean, he went in with genuinely good intentions, though they were ill-focused and ill-driven. And though men have died, that was a decision that they made because he did give them the opportunity to leave. And at the end of the day, there's nothing he could have done about it.
yeah, and Fail comes to console him as well, and Fail starts talking about his dad. He says, "My father always told me a general can't mourn the dead and care for the living at the same time."
Exactly.
I think that was the quote.
That was a direct quote. It was a good quote.
So what do you think about Fail now? Fail talking about her father now and this light, this advice from her father.
Are we just jumping forward to who Fail is? Because Chris and I, we knew it. I want to know, is there anybody that read this and went, oh my gosh, I'm so surprised at what Fail just told us?
Because if they were, they
Like-
like reading the same books we have.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was obvious almost from day one that Fail came from somebody.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
one of the rarest of
Probably
all
from a
real-time
back shot.
chapters. A chapter where people actually communicate.
Yeah.
Yes. They just start opening it up. And then, well, screw it, Alan. You could throw your notes out the window. We're just going to go for this.
Sure, go for it.
So, yeah, obviously, we find out who Fail is and who her father is and how she's like the cousin or niece of the queen or some relation, whatever.
Cousin.
And right when you're getting like, I'm assuming, Chris, your reaction was about the same. You're like, okay, makes sense, right,
So,
right.
but before that, I
And
had.
then-
I'm gonna stop you real quickly. My favorite quote.
All right, hit
'cause We
it.
haven't done this one in a while. Do you think Trollocs will go away because you decide your motives are not pure enough? The heat in her voice made him raise his head, but she pushed it back down to the pillow. Are they any less vile? Do you need a pure reason to fight them than what they are? Anything my father said, or another thing my father says, the worst sins a general could commit, worse than blundering, worse than losing, worse than anything, is to desert the men who depend on him. That was the one where I was like, finally we're gonna get the truth. Like that right there, I didn't have to read any further. I knew finally
You knew it was
he
coming.
was gonna be like, I'm about to die in my own mind here. I've already killed a bunch of people. Why does your father's opinion really matter? Like, he's just a traitor. Like, not a traitor, but a tradesman.
The tradesman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what's nice, and to Pytho's point, like the communication here, I've had so many questions about this relationship between Perrin and Fail, and there's so many unhealthy things that I've seen go on. But
It makes perfect sense.
Perrin in a super tough spot, he needs more than just a little bit of encouragement from Fail. Fail realizes that the encouragement needs to come from a position of authority, I guess, is the best way to put it. So, like, okay, I'm not just reassuring you and telling you these things because I like you. I'm telling you these things, it comes from experience, not just mine, but from my father's, who actually is somebody and does have to lead people and knows a little bit about what you're going through. And so she opens up to it and is honest. And what's great is he just turns around and shortly thereafter he's super honest with her. He's like, oh yeah? Well, I'm part wolf. What? Like that's... He
Well,
just realizes it's time to...
The way he gets to that, we have to go back a little bit because Aram comes in and asks about Egwene, and he's just like, and he makes a comment or whatever about her. She's trying to be an Aes Sedai now, and he makes a comment about following Elias and running with the wolves, and that's when Fael's like, "What? Wolves? What?"
This wolf thing keeps coming up, and I need to know. That's what
Yeah,
the
I
attitude
need to
was.
know.
I need to know
Yeah.
right now. And he's like, well, Shit, I just scolded her. So I kind of put myself in an odd spot. Let me get on top of this as quickly as I can. It's not that I haven't been honest with you. It's that you never really asked. So I'm technically not in the same spot you are. I'm a wolf.
But how great is this? Like, this is a big moment of vulnerability for Perrin, right? This secret that he's been trying to keep from just about everybody. He's probably terrified. Like, all right, once I tell her, she's never going to talk to me. But well, all right, Fail, kind of like a wolf. Sometimes,
I like a savage.
most of the time,
man.
I'm part
Savage.
wolf. And she goes, a wolf,
Ooh.
huh? Row, giggity.
Savage.
And then he's like, what would your parents think? And she's like, I might have to fight my mother to keep her off of you.
You
Row.
take that axe and you really
Do you think he's ever
Wolf,
going to meet
huh?
her parents?
chop it down.
I think so. So I'm interested by the comment that she says from her dad that like I've
The
set my
blood
book
has
down,
gotten
but
soft.
like the blood has gotten soft. So I still think there's more
There are
that Fael
pills
might
for
be
that.
holding back. Well, yeah, there's a little blue pill for that. But okay, so she doesn't freak out. She's not surprised by something that the average person would probably be like, "What the fuck? Are you serious?" So either she already knows that these like Wolf Brother people exist, or her family has a secret themselves. Maybe they're not wolves, but they have some other type animal that
Birds.
they commune with, whatever, right? Possibly. So it's just not surprising to her. In her mind, she's like, oh, I've never heard of the wolf thing. That's cool, but, you know, my family, we are osprey. So I guess that's cool. And Dad was always saying we're more like canaries now. So maybe it's, you know, maybe we liven up the blood with little wolf action here. So we're gonna have osprey, wolf. That's my prediction.
Osprey wolf.
Osprey, wolf,
Might
So this
hybrid.
is now turned into a paranormal romance novel.
Uh huh.
Yeah. I'm already writing the spin-off.
So what do you
series.
guys? So what are you guys' opinion of Aram coming back into the scene? Good old Aram who danced with Egwene all night long, and
I feel like Aram's going to be that one
one.
that gets the rest of his friends killed.
okay.
No, I think Aram leaves the Tinkers.
Yeah.
He just doesn't
I
seem to
think
vibe
he
with them.
becomes like a dark friend tinker.
I don't want to knock him like that. I
don't
think
like
he's
him.
like the kid that grows up in the Amish community and he's like, fuck it, I want to play PlayStation. So I'm leaving.
He wants to
Do
play.
you think he's gonna leave
Um,
leave the Tinker? You think he's
yeah.
gonna leave the Tinkers? Okay.
Yeah. I don't think he could truly follow the way
I
they
think
leave.
he wants to
There's-
discover whether or not
yeah.
Egwene's really becoming a Aes Sedai or not.
Any predictions on how he leaves? If he does,
I think he ends up. He seems like the type like if there's an attack, I feel like he might just say fuck it and pick up something and use it as a weapon, and then he like gets exiled or something like that.
And then
I
becomes
don't know. I don't
Egwene's
think in a negative sense.
you're
I
not
think-
my son anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just kind of like what we heard before in the. Well, not,
I think some shit goes
it's not a
down.
prophecy.
He's like,
looking way back at the past.
I know where your
whatever it was.
parent is. Let me lead you to him. I think these Tinkers about to get set up.
Yeah.
Or maybe we get news that Egwene's in trouble. And
He's not going anywhere. He's a punk.
he's around when the news is shared, and people are like, "I'm gonna go save her," and then he's like, "I'm gonna
I'll
come
buy
too,
you a
bro."
nice juicy burger if that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know we got all this about Fael too. So, what do you think about her motives to go hunt the horn? And you know, she didn't want to be a noble woman anymore. It's too confining.
Feminism
I want
is a
adventure
thing.
in my life. What do you say?
So feminism is a thing.
It
and
is.
then
Yeah.
wanting
100%.
to escape responsibility is definitely, you know, especially when you're that young, you don't want all of that pressure. You don't want all of that responsibility. And when you have your own
Mhm.
ideology behind who and what you should be, the easiest thing to do is to run away when your dad's not looking.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Yeah. Yeah. And Perrin's also nervous about all this. He's like, you know, what are you doing with the blacksmith then? Like, if you're some queen's
It's like you know how to
cousin,
handle
what-
your axe so well.
Yeah.
So it comes down to I can take care of the rest. You just keep working that axe.
And she tells him that she'll convince her parents to like him too. She's like, yeah, don't worry about my parents. I got them. We're good. Which,
She'll
Yeah.
be fine
I-
right
I've
up
been
until
told-
her dad puts them in the lie detector.
yeah. I've been told that before, and then met my girlfriend's parents, and they did not accept me at all. The lies. He's bad.
Yeah.
I'ma just not comment on it. Not about you and your. I'm just not gonna. This is where I don't share my personal experiences.
This is what
I have learned. Though. It is very important to when you're meeting a significant other. You need to get to know their family and where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do your research,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Yeah, my first real girlfriend in high school, her parents forbade her from seeing me anymore. That's how we broke up. Because we tried to sneak around for a while, but then it just was really tough in high school to do that. But yeah, that's because I hung out with Ian, and he was a bad influence on me. And
It sounds like he's saying that to like make jokes and poke fun at me, but that's probably 100% true.
That's I had that experience. That was my first for 9.5 years. We see how that went.
I think what it was I think we went over to Ian's house one time, and we got drunk over there because this was in high school. And I took her home, and her parents were waiting up for her, and she came home plastered, and her parents are like, "Nope, you're not seeing him anymore."
Yeah, that's always the best way to take them home.
And then when they called my parents, my mom was like, "Yeah, but did she die?" Why? What the fuck you calling me for? Sounds like they had a good time.
Maybe next time I'll join them.
Yeah, I think actually it's funny because her mom actually ended up calling me and said the only way you can see my daughter again is if you tell your mother that you got my daughter drunk and have her write a letter to me. Confirm. I was like, no. What? Who are
Lady.
you?
She's
Yeah,
like, we're gonna
wait,
say
wait,
this
wait,
is
wait,
true
wait.
love or not.
Let your child grow up. This
Yeah.
is really weird.
This is really strange and it's not going to happen.
If this is true love, he'll get the letter written. There are plenty of fish in the sea, and I know how to fish.
Yeah.
She gets a letter in the mail written in crayon in Alan's chicken scratch handwriting. It's like,
This one's gonna be a document.
Alan
You can
told
marry
me, and I
him.
think it's okay.
Okay.
I love them despite their faults. Yes, they should still date. P.S. Serve them beer at your house. Love, Alan's mom.
How'd you know?
Oh Lord, that would be hilarious. though.
Actually, I did try to forge a it wasn't crown, but I did. I did a crayon, but I did try to write a note, and I didn't end up giving it to. I didn't end up taking it to her mom because I just said, you know what, this is not worth it. And moved on.
That mac and cheese in the pot won't that great. What were we doing
Anyways.
again? What was the name of
And
the
Pythos.
book?
That's the first reaction I got from Pythos. He didn't smile. He just shook his head. No, he went.
He's like middle
No.
schoolers.
No. It's like Alan. Edit that out, please.
Please. Yeah. So while she's talking, she convinces Perrin to drink the tea, and Perrin falls asleep immediately, and that's how we end this chapter. It's him going night night.
She drugged him.
So
Yeah.
Can we talk
drugged
about
him.
like
Faye was like, "Gotta get the little pudding in the jello and the
you know,
pudding
rape
snacks."
culture? You know, like this is just this shit right here. I put the book down after that too. I was like, now here we are with rape culture being a really big issue, and what does she do? She forces the drugs down his throat. It's like you can't do nothing about it.
No means no.
yeah,
Consent is
It
important.
is.
yeah.
I'm gonna try and keep that as a running theme. Like, well, not just as we comment on these books, but just in life.
I agree.
I throw that line out to my 5-year-old on stuff. Like, consent is important. Did you have your brother's permission to do that? Did you have your sister's permission to do
Like
that?
the minute you put that ring on
look,
your finger, you
consent's
consent to
important, bro.
all of this. I'm kidding.
You can't touch somebody else's liberties without consent.
Yeah, I mean, I've done
Whatever it is.
the opposite, not drugging someone without their knowledge, but giving someone not drugs when they think they're taking drugs.
Oh, that bag of oregano that we made $20 on. Fill the gas tank.
There's
Fill the
there's a
gas
guy in
tank, got some
college.
cookies.
There's a guy in college who's like, "Hey, have you ever had acid before?" And I was
I thought
like,
you said there's a gynecologist.
No,
I was
a
like,
guy in
wait,
college.
you're going to
Yeah,
a
yeah.
gynecologist
It's
to
just-
get drugs, bro?
Oh,
Hey,
where
they
did
can
How
write
did you even
scripts.
meet this
They
person?
can write scripts, man.
They can get into the country a lot easier too.
Sir, I don't think you want to make an appointment at our office. Be like, oh no,
do.
I want an
I
appointment
do.
with this doctor.
do.
Yes, just I know where I'm at.
Yeah, we gave a
Don't
guy
judge me.
in college. We gave a guy a Jolly Rancher and told him that he was just an annoying kid that comes in a bug at us. We're like, "Here's a Jolly Rancher. It's drugs, dude." He's like, "Okay."
No, do you remember we were coming back from somewhere and Dave was there and I was drunk and I was like, I want to try shrooms. And he starts handing me stuff. He's like, I brought some with me. Here, try these. And I'm like, nothing's happening. So he keeps feeding me more. Turns out he was just pulling foam out of the chair we were sitting in and handing me chunks of foam. And I ate like 20 pieces of foam going, it's not working. I'm not feeling it. He's like, well, some people you have to take a lot. I mean, you might have a resistance built up. It's, and I'm like, give me some more chunks, Alan. The next day I look at it and there's like a softball sized chunk of foam missing. He's like, you ate all of that thinking we're having shrooms.
Now, the only time I've ever been legitimately high, my dealer was an army surgeon.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds,
Yeah, I was
sounds right.
I was actually a Boy Scout. Yes,
you
I
go.
didn't get up to any of the stuff you guys did, but I was staff at the National Boy Scout Jamboree, which is at Fort A.P. Hill, or at least was
Yeah.
back then. This is in the 90s, and I got a migraine a couple days before camp was supposed to open, and because we were on the Army base, all of the med tents were staffed by Army medics. And so I went to him, and he gave me 2
There you go.
pills and said, if I'm still feeling bad in the morning, come back for some more. He gave me 2 Vicodin, and I took them without eating anything.
Oh, that would
Lordy.
do it. That would do it. Some Vickies.
Apparently,
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
do
Trip
not
for about
remember
20
any of the
minutes
next
and
6
pass out.
hours. But apparently after that, I
Sounds right.
passed out, and they couldn't wake me for 24.
Shit.
That also sounds right. Yeah. And wait, about how old
So-
were you?
I think I
So-
was
so
19 at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
So chat's really, really interested now. So after eating all this foam, what did the poop look like the next day?
It was. Let me tell you. So that was an immediate fear. That's the only reason I was mad at him. It's not because I ate foam. I was like, how is this going to turn out?
Is
Right?
it
Poorly.
gonna
Like,
turn out?
Poorly.
I think it actually cleaned me out really good because I drank a ton of water to kind of help work it down, and it just
Yeah.
I mean,
Sopped everything.
eventually a
up.
day later it was there, and I felt rather clean. Great.
Scrubbed.
It's a good scrub, yeah. Some scrubbing bubbles.
Some colon blow. Just extra strength. Was it B Pong that had the colon blow that he was talking about? He went on for like an
great.
hour. He went on for like an hour-long rant about some stuff he took or whatever. He's like, you know that stick that's been sitting in your colon for like 30 years? Like, it works it out. What's wrong with your colon, man? Like, I don't have the same problems as you. Like,
What kind of leathery steak are you eating that it parks itself in your intestines for 30 years? There's a little steak inside there. I'm not leaving. Arms crossed.
yeah,
I'm not going anywhere.
not doing it. So that's how we end this chapter of Perrin going night night. So any final thoughts about all this? I mean, obviously we finally get the big reveal that everyone already knew that Fael was a noblewoman. Big surprise. Aram is still a punk. Big surprise. And the Tinkers still don't believe that they're in any danger.
Do they though? They know they're in danger.
I mean, I think they know they're in danger, but
It's like,
they aren't willing to fight.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. They're still not willing to fight.
You know, we just like our lives. We like to just kind of meander. Nobody's gonna really mess with us. We'll go hide in the woods. They do a really good job of it. They're still alive, so
Yeah.
You got gel in the pudding, the pudding snacks. You gel pudding, the pudding.
Yep. Yep.
File's messed
Yeah, I
up.
agree.
Yep. So, any final thoughts? Anything?
No.
All right. Cool. Anything from you, Pythos?
Not right now.
Okay, cool. Well, let's take a quick break because I need to find some more alcohol because I finished my last 2 White Claws and I need to find some alcohol somewhere in my house. So, let's get
So,
it, Pyth.
Fredbot, alcohol by Bare Naked Ladies. Do
It's
it.
a permanent necessity.
You'll
All right.
enjoy it.
Yep. All right. I'll just leave this running.
Yep,
Cool.
that sounds good.
Be back. Yep.
Alcohol, an alternative to feeling like yourself. Oh, alcohol.
So how long have you been with the library system?
What was that?
How long have you been with the library system?
Boom.
This particular library I've worked at since 2014.
Okay. So that definitely is something that you enjoy doing then.
I actually have a master's of library science.
Awesome. I mean, that's something that I looked at one point. I was like, bro, they have an entire master's for this. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think that was really a thing. And then I was like, well, I'm nowhere near qualified for that.
Well, because
So what does that
being a
entail?
librarian is a lot more than stamping books and going shush.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all the behind the scenes of running the library, cataloging, processing. That I've actually taken entire classes on how to answer reference questions. I mean, semester long classes and
Oh, wow.
resources to use and stuff. I had an entire semester long class on Googling, like literally on. I took an advanced online searching class.
Oh, wow.
So my Google flu is very strong.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
But I had to take business classes, all sorts of stuff. One thing I never took, because I didn't think I was ever going to go into that field, was children's librarianship classes. I have zero kids level classes. Most of my focus is on the technical stuff, on the cataloging, on collection development, stuff like that.
At my university, we're required to take a 300 level writing intensive course outside of your major, so I did children's lit. That was super fun. I thoroughly enjoyed
Why would you write about a bunch of like drunk and high kids? Bunch of
You mean
lit
all the
children.
kids that I teach? Let me tell you some shit. Let me tell you the current challenges on
They're eating
TikTok.
foam out of couches. They say
the,
that.
the current thing on TikTok for these middle schoolers is to smoke vape while in middle school without getting caught, and to steal the soap dispensers off the walls of the bathrooms. They have whole challenges for this shit. I'm like, y'all are some nasties. Because then your friends are going in there and taking a shit and not washing their hands. And then y'all are COVID, not even following COVID regulations and dapping up and, exchanging food, and all their shit particles are all over their hands, and then they're getting all over you. So good luck with that.
Unfortunately, now they don't have the mask on. I
I'll
can actually
say-
drink.
There you go. What do you drink at Pythos?
This is Strega.
Gatorade.
Strega. That sounds familiar. Enlighten
It's an
me.
herbal liqueur, mint, juniper, anise, probably a little bit of clove. I'm getting.
Clove. Oh my goodness.
It's kind of like chartreuse.
And look,
If you've ever had chartreuse,
just so y'all know, he has a very nice fancy glass, and he's holding it by the stem, and his pinky is up as he takes a sip. It is very, very fancy. I like it. There it is. So, Chris, to your point, I actually had a really good conversation last time my oldest son, Ryder,
and then
hung out with
Kroger
me.
brand seltzer water.
He's oh, there you go. You gotta chase it. But Ryder, we're just talking about high school, and I'm like, how do you like it? This, that, and the other. And he's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's okay. Got a couple friends, this, that, other. And I'm like, well, what's bugging you about it? And as he's moved along in high school, and he's in high school in Williamsburg now, he was telling me that like all they talk about, like the peer pressure now, and all they talk about, all they brag about, it used to be video games. Now it's just like kids just going to parties, getting drunk, doing drugs in the restrooms. Like everybody, like you said, they're vaping, trying to vape when no one's looking. And I guess like it was a mixed bag. It was a proud parent moment that he saw that and he knew it was not good and he didn't want to be a part of it. And he just thinks it's stupid that these kids are acting this way. But then I also felt bad for him and how isolated he must feel, because if that's the trend, if that's what's cool, if that's what gets you in the in crowd and he doesn't want anything to do with it, like he's kind of in loner status, and that also sucks. So, I don't know. Wait, there's more conversation to follow with him on that, but
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm turning into the old guy. Like every generation at a certain point looks at the new generation coming up and going, "God, we're fucked. They're all so like these kids are horrible." But I really feel like this new generation, man. I don't know.
I had a father.
Get off my lawn.
Well, I'm just glad
Yeah.
I've worked at the library for 7 years and we've only had 2 overdoses.
See, and that's
And
rough.
they were both
That's
adults
rough.
in the men's room.
So
That's tough, man. Oh,
yeah,
And they both survived.
Good.
well, that's,
that's
good.
good. That's good.
That's good. We
Yeah,
we had this thing. I'm gonna tangent a little bit. Sorry. We had a meeting today with my custodial staff. I manage a large federal building in downtown Richmond, and some of our higher ups were on the meeting. And a problem, throwing air quotes on there, I don't know what you want to call it, that we're having issues with is stuff being left behind, trash, sometimes needles, sometimes feces, stuff of the homeless that are sleeping on our building, next to our building, and in areas, and they show up after hours, after our security leaves, and all this jazz, and they're complaining about it, and they're like, what are we going to do? And they're all talking about, like, well, we need to call the cops, and we need to have patrols come by and arrest these folks and everything. And then, man, my mind's already going down this rabbit hole. Like, I've had some experiences in the jail systems nearby, and have worked with pastors that have done, like, counseling and visits with these folks, and got to know some people that have been in and out of the system quite a bit. And anyways, the answer is not lock them up and throw them in jail. It's just a vicious cycle. Our behavioral health accommodations, in the state are just horrible. We've stopped spending money on that many, many years ago. So, like, I don't know.
Couldn't you just put a couple border potties out there and a box for the needles and say, please deposit here?
That's what I would like to do, but like I ended that conversation. There's more I'm gonna try and follow up with my boss on that. But as they're bitching and complaining about it, I was like, and these are contractors, by the way, who have a responsibility to clean outside our building, and as they're complaining about it, I was like, well, what does your contract say you're supposed to do? Like, well, we're supposed to clean it, but these homeless people are leaving a mess. I was like, well, if you're supposed to clean it.
Yeah.
The answer is not we're going to call the cops and start arresting homeless people. Like,
Just do your fucking job.
I don't even know why we're having this conversation. Right.
Yeah. So I don't know these people
Anyways.
personally, but on Facebook I have friends that have friends, so I don't even know who they are. They just have been commenting about it. Apparently, a lot of drugs around here are being laced with fentanyl recently. So there's been a spike in overdoses. So like people are posting on Facebook about it. People that I know that are friends with people that obviously do that stuff. I don't know who these people are that overdosed. I don't know anybody that has, but fentanyl is definitely making a comeback again in our area, which is I'm sarcastically saying fun. But
I miss the days when, like, when the kids were rebelling, they were going to get high during lunch and then going back to physics class and giggling.
Yep, I remember those days.
But my kids, they're living with their mom majority of the time, and they live in a very wealthy area that I'm funding, by the way, but whatever. And you would think that's a good thing, right? Yeah, they're in there's area with a lot of wealthy families. This should be great. But that means they're going to a school with a bunch of kids that just have a lot of money. So it's not that they're going out and smoking pot. There's heroin, there's cocaine, if they don't know what they're doing. Like, I almost feel like I need to educate them about how you select a drug dealer, because the risk is you get something like Alan is saying. You're like, well, I want to join the cool crowd, so I'm just going to find what I can at a discount price, and oh shit, fentanyl, whatever. Now I'm ODing.
Are you go to the one dealer who's like, one of them's my personal stuff, the other one's the stuff I was going to sell you? I put PCP in my stuff, but I can't remember.
The bags look the same.
The bags
So
look the
just-
same. So
Just pick one.
just pick one and tell me what happens.
Let me. Wow. I'm not going to say who was involved in that story, but I know they chose poorly.
In both high school and college, I regularly hung out with people who were dealers, and yet I never once partook of anything they ever had.
Hey, we were trying to buy weed, all right? We weren't trying to do all that shit.
I was trying to keep it simple. Let me tell you something. PCP is a hell of a drug. Shit. When they say Superman, shit. Oh. Godlike.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, I spent 30 minutes calling one of my good friends. I was calling their cat, trying to get their cat come over so I can pet it. And then, like, he stops looking at the stars, because we were stargazing, obviously. And then he stops, and he watches me for a little while, and I'm like, kitty, 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 kitty. And he just goes, bro. I'm like, what? He's, bro. What, man? I'm trying to get this cat. He's like, bro, that's my bike. I was like, oh. I mean, somebody I knew. That was somebody I knew told me that story.
So, yeah. I can't feel my balls.
Somebody that I used to know.
High school. Fun times. So.
Those were the days.
Yeah, are you ready to get an episode so I can cut all this stuff out?
Do they listen to Bare Naked Ladies? That'd be fun.
Yeah. I don't
That
think
song
they did.
is so
I think they could get Fred Boat to work.
In the right crowd with the right amount of alcohol and everybody in a dance mood, that is a really fun song to just throw down to.
It is. It is. All right. So, guys, ready for chapter 42? It's the meaning of life.
Bro, I just cracked a mango. I'm ready.
Gotcha. I just poured myself a Moscow Mule.
Nice.
It's not a mango White Claw.
No, it's not. Those are delicious.
Winning.
All right. Brief pause. All right. Moving on to chapter 42. A missing leaf. And we got the wolf. The wolf. As an icon. And we start right up with Perrin in the Tinker Camp. And he knows right away. He's like, yep, this is the dream. I'm in the wolf dream. And we're going to have fun with it. Because now I know what to do. Kind of, sort of. Not really. But I'm going to act like I do. And we're going to make shit go crazy. So he goes ahead and sprints all his way all over Two Rivers. So let's start there.
Let's start here. So it doesn't happen anymore because I rarely sleep long enough to actually dream.
Agreed.
But I do remember back in the day when I did. Every now and then, you knew something happened where it clicked, and you knew you were dreaming. But then once you realized you were dreaming, at least for me, I only had a short amount of time to act on it. Because it's like once I realized I was dreaming, I would wake up very shortly thereafter. But I've been in dreams where I knew I was dreaming. I was like, shit, I'm dreaming.
Lucid dreaming?
I could jump over a building. I can fly. And like I would have these tests. I'd be like, okay, I know I can only jump this high. If I could jump higher than that, all of a sudden I know I'm dreaming. And then I jump and I'm like clearing a fucking tree and I'm like, well, this is a dream. And then you get to go ham on it because, if you can control it,
Yeah.
it can be very cool.
If I've ever had any lucid dreaming,
Lucid
I
dreams
do
are
not
fun.
remember it at all.
Oh, I do. I've had out-of-body
used to.
experiences. That's always fun.
Yeah,
That's actually
those are
freaky.
Scary. Yeah, let's say that.
Those are scary as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one, I guess it was in college. Like, I woke up, at least I thought I woke up, went to my dresser to start getting, like, stuff ready to take a shower, and I looked back in the bed, and my body's still inside the bed. I'm like, shit. Am I dead?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It's that, or
And I
the
saw
moment,
myself from the outside. It was weird.
or the
that was a weird
moment
dream.
where you like wake up but nothing moves.
Oh,
incubus
yeah,
attacks? Incubus
Yeah,
attacks?
the incubus attacks, like your body's smothered.
Yeah.
And when you can't breathe,
Yeah.
and the adrenaline's pumping, but you can't do anything with it,
Yes.
it's like borderline heart attack status.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dreams are weird, man.
I don't have dreams that
Yeah.
much, but that's the type of
What if
stuff
dreams are real and this is the
I was just
dream?
about to say it.
Yeah, what if when we think we're dreaming, that's when we're in
There
the...
is a new Matrix coming out, by the way.
There is.
Did you ever get paranoid in high school when you had to take a leak, so you went in the bathroom and you were peeing, and you were like, all right, what if I'm like crazy right now and I'm not actually in the bathroom peeing and I'm just whipping it out in the middle of the class and peeing all over the place? What if
Yeah.
you ever freak out about that?
Yeah.
Is that just me?
That's just you.
Yeah.
No. So Perrin realizes he's dreaming, and instead of being like, I could jump over buildings, like I could fly, he's like, all right, let me do some investigative work.
Well, this isn't his first
So
time.
he goes down the
either,
dip-
so.
Yeah, it's not his first
That's
time.
true.
He knows what he's doing.
And he's hold on, Loyal finally moved to my new house. Loyal, you up? Yeah, no, come here. Well, you can say it from there. They can hear you. Let me turn the mic. We're talking about Perrin. What's his special power?
Well, I thought you knew this. He's Taviran.
Thanks, Loyal.
Taviran.
All right. Well, he's not coming down the stairs. He's going back to bed.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah. So he goes down the Devon Ride, which is south of Emmonsfield, and finds mainly abandoned farms. A few signs of habitation here and there. Some have been burnt, and been attacked. And then Perrin decides that, then Perrin spots a group of ravens up in the Mountains of Mist. So he's like, yeah, that looks sus. So let's go check that out.
You are correct. That happened.
This is one of those like chapters, I'm gonna be honest with you, where I'm excited for it to happen, but then I'm disappointed at the same time.
We didn't get closure.
No, none at all. So like you follow the Ravens, great. It's like into the thick of it. No reference.
Into the thick of it.
And all right,
Into the
let's
thick of
shorten
it.
up the chapter
Oh.
real quick. Perrin got introduced to a character that we already knew exist. So all that happened is we, the reader, we now know that Perrin knows that he knows that Perrin knows that they both know that each other's there, but we already fucking knew that. So it's like
Right.
Perrin meets Slayer, Slayer meet Perrin. Okay, like that's the chapter.
But before he sees Slayer, he does go to the Waygate and discover something very, very discerning.
Yeah, that's the big
about the
info we
Waygate.
get from the chapter.
Walking towards the Waygate just the other day, baby. What do you think I saw?
One leaf. One little
One leaf.
Which
The leaf was
Said,
missing.
hey boy, do you want to close the Waygate?
Here's my question.
You know how it is.
How did the leaf get back from the other side?
Adele. Hello from the
I
other
didn't
side.
notice, but it had got very dark, and I was really, really, really out of my mind. Yeah.
Hello from the other side. Yeah, so
That,
there's a
like,
leaf
I
missing.
assume that was the one thing that got me. I was like, Loyal, like, definitely took care of that situation.
He did,
Like
but
a
now it's
week
open,
ago.
which means that there are Trollocs pouring into the two rivers at this point.
Porn
Pouring.
And it kind of, the
Boy.
way, so
with all the
we're
pudding snacks.
skipping around. So, we have our good old, guy friend there who, Slayer, if you want to call him that.
Slayer.
And he's like,
Fuck yeah, Slayer! You gotta say it right, man.
we get Perrin. Perrin like goes and he's like, oh shit, is this happening in the real world? Is this? I think it's. And then out of nowhere, a big black thing. A black arrow comes his way.
Yeah, yep.
Meow.
I see what you did there.
1.5
Right to
giggities.
his,
you kind of forced it,
right
but
to the
you know.
backside.
Yeah. Ooh,
Now we're at 2. That's a
Two,
solid
that
2
too,
giggities,
yeah.
bro. Continue.
But he dodges it.
Yeah, dodges the arrows and decides to go to do some crazy scouting where he like jumps all around and goes to different vantage points.
It's funny
Trying to figure
how
out-
hard it is for Egwene to master this realm, but then he's just like naturally just like, all right, I got this. Is this because he's a male and he's doing it, or is it because he's Taviran?
Or because he's a wolf. Because he's hungry like a wolf.
So
Is he hungry, though? He got to eat all of that vegetable stew, porridge, shake, liquefied.
I think he's hungry like a wolf.
Yeah.
We do know the wolves
Well,
hang out.
it's the wolf dream. Yeah, the wolves hang out there. The wolves are really good at the dream world. So I think Perrin gets some of that from that.
Even dead wolves are like, fuck it, chilling in the dream world.
Yeah, Hopper's there. He's like, dude, this is where we hang.
Yeah, but
So.
his control of it's really, really, really good. So, but anyway, the arrow comes. He goes chasing after said arrow, and then he actually like looks like the parent of old. It's like I'm screwing up again. I'm going the way the person wants me to go. Let me switch things up a little bit, and he actually catches the Slayer off guard. And he hesitates.
Off guard, he gets the motherfucking high ground, bro.
he gets the
The
drop
high
on
ground.
him.
I have the high ground, Anakin.
Don't do it, I have the high ground.
And he hesitates.
Because he ain't a killer. His name is Perrin.
That's why he initially came.
Perrin Golden
That's why he
Eyes.
initially
His name
came.
isn't Slayer. If his name was Slayer, he'd have been like, high ground, die.
That's why he initially came with the hammer and not the axe. His true nature still comes out in the beginning. Even though he asked for the axe this go around, he came back with the hammer and his apron. You know.
He needs to realize what he's up against.
Yeah.
If
And-
you
and s-
go down in the streets today, baby, you better open your eyes. Yeah.
It's about to go down.
So Slayer talks to
So
Perrin
I'm
too.
packing my bags for the misty mountains.
My mama said.
Whoa, over the hills where the spirits lie.
Hylos is like, what did I get myself into?
Literally, right? Aren't
Agreeing
they
to
in the Misty Mountains during this scene?
They doing it.
Yeah, they're doing
That's why this is sponsored by Led Zeppelin.
Bum, 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 bum. That'd be cool if we got Led Zeppelin as a sponsor. Hey, Led Zeppelin, if you listen to us.
That would be crazy
Come on
if you
by.
actually get a response.
Right.
Robert Plant slides into my DMs tomorrow.
Well, now Alan's lucid dreaming. He's like, me and Robert Plant hung out. It was so cool.
So cool. That's,
It's like, what were those trucks we were talking
Really
about
don't
earlier?
know. Oh.
Anyway, so you know, he gets the high ground and then right away loses it. And then you're right. Slayer realizes it's a game of cat and mouse now, and Slayer's just chatting away, just giving him all this information, feeding him. He's like, "Hey, I see you saw I brought the leaf back. You want to know how I did it? Oh yeah, guess what? There's hundreds of thousands of Trollocs around here now. You know, the dark matter got a lot to eat, but we let that many more out. So
And Slayer's got to know, if he doesn't know exactly who Perrin is, he has a sense of Perrin's capabilities because Slayer has just been walking around plunking wolves and has had a high success rate because all the wolves in this area are fucking dead.
I mean, we don't know what
That's
color
why Hopper's
Slayer's
like,
eyes
no, bro,
are.
no. But the fact that Perrin is able to navigate around, get some sort of advantage, has dodged his arrows, Slayer's like, okay, cool, yeah, good for
We
you.
don't know what color Slayer's eyes are.
But we do know he looks
Like that.
Malkirian?
yeah, Valkyrie.
And doesn't mean he doesn't
Malkiri?
have gold
And then
eyes,
Perrin.
too.
And then, okay, then foreshadowing, right? Perrin goes, but we can't be Malkiri because Lan's the last one.
Yeah.
Even though he looks exactly like Lan, but not Lan. He could be Lan's brother, but he can't be Lan's last one. So, obviously, Lan's not the only one. At the very least, there is one that exists in the dreamscape. And it could be Forsaken. It could be bad guy. It could be some sort of effed up twist on a relative of Lan's. It could be Lan's dad, Lan's brother, Lan's cousin, something like that. That somehow got stuck here because some Forsaken, like, I don't know, tapped him with his Harry Potter wand and effed him over. And
Yeah.
maybe this Slayer guy ends up being a good guy eventually when we break the curse. Because I can't think. So, if he is Malkirian, how do you say that? Malkirian?
Valkyrie.
A Malkyrier, like a hamburger. If he is Malkiri, knowing what their mission was for so long, I find it hard to believe that unless they got invited to the Dark Friends Social and compelled to do shitty things, like, I find it hard to believe that any one of them would willingly choose this path.
Agreed.
So,
Okay.
is it some sort of curse? Is it some sort of... Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess curse was the
I
best
think
word.
you're right.
That we can break, and then Slayer ends up being a good person? Maybe?
I don't know.
But
I
right
don't know.
now, you got Dodge Zeros.
Is this the first
Got
time
those zeros.
there's actually a
And-
conversation with him that he's shown up so far?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that means there's more to come, right, Pythos?
Oh, yeah, Pathos, what do you think?
What do you think?
Describe Slayer and
think
who
this
he
is gonna be
becomes.
the
Said
last-
the first time.
Okay, I'll
so-
tell you who he is.
I
He's
mean-
obviously Elvis.
Okay.
Yes. Oh. Dude.
I like it.
Dude,
I've
don't
been to
give
Tupelo.
away. Don't give away.
I
the
got a lot of love.
secrets. Anyway, yeah. So Elvis is hanging out, doing his little hip motions, and saying that.
That he got from Forrest Gump, by the
Yep.
way.
Yes,
Give
that
credit
guy
where
from-
credit's due.
yes, Yes. And Perrin's like, I'm in danger. I gotta wake up, and he tries to.
I'm in danger.
Yeah, I'm in danger. So he tries to wake up and steps out of the wolf dream and right into another dream with Fail.
And you know why he couldn't wake up?
Because he was drugged.
They asked us to stay for tea and have some fun.
Yeah.
She said that Slayer was gonna stop by. Down, 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 down,
Bum,
down,
bum,
down.
bum, 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 bum.
Hoo-hoo.
Yep. So yeah, goes into that dream just for a little brief bit before we wake up for real. So for real.
Pharrell?
So,
Yeah.
for real.
I haven't met Pharrell, but I've been to one of Pharrell's properties
Yeah.
As,
in a
as
party,
have
and Missy was there, but I didn't make contact with her.
You missed out.
But that was the night I met Michael Vick.
Big
Oh.
school guy.
It's a good party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met Michael once. And I've met Iverson twice. They're all from our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
I caught Rasheed
Round
Wallace
here,
cutting in
round
line in a movie theater and told him to get his ass to the back of the line.
I bumped
And
into
he
Paris
did.
Hilton once.
did.
Actually, literally ran into Paris Hilton. Like
Like
drunkenly
her
stumbled.
security almost took you out.
Yes. I was in
Like they got-
Vegas and I was drunk walking out of a casino and she was walking in and literally like stumbled
We
into
bumped.
her. Yeah.
Yep.
It was fun times.
I took my older two
she
to
turned
Pat's
around
and
and goes,
Gino's.
"That's hot."
She didn't. She rolled her eyes and kept
never-
moving.
No, she didn't. She didn't at all.
I took my older two to Pat's and Gino's in Philly because we were going to settle the debate which one's better, and they're both fantastic, by the way. And I forget which one it was. It was the second one we did. I think we did Pat's first. We were going to Gino's second, and there was this guy like looking really sketchy with a hoodie on and like big sunglasses in front of us. And I'm like, man, this druggie's coming up here trying to get his fix on a Philly cheesesteak. And when he goes to order, it's fucking Ray Romano. And when he starts to talk, you know who it is. So he starts to order, and everybody behind the counter is like, "Oh my gosh!" And they actually invite him inside, and da da da. And I was like, "Well, I was just standing in line with Ray Romano for 30 minutes to get a Philly cheesesteak, and he didn't even say hi.
Yeah.
So messed up." But yeah, no, he was a cool guy.
I played blackjack table with Michael Phelps one time
Oh, that's dope.
in Atlantic City.
Ooh,
I was in Atlantic City, and he was at the blackjack table with me. And I didn't recognize him because it's out of he wasn't in a Speedo, so
Yeah, unless you can see the washboard abs, you don't really recognize them.
Yeah, it's just like some dude like at the table with me, and then I was like, he looks familiar though, and then it wasn't until actually someone else recognized him, and then he immediately got up and left because he didn't want to be recognized, and I was like, oh, I was playing blackjack with Michael Phelps. That's kind of cool.
oh yeah, I got you beat.
Yeah, okay.
This is the last
Go
one up.
for it.
This is the last one up.
All right, just do one up.
So I'm in the Udari Desert, Camp Buring, right? And I come out the DFAC, and I'm a E4 nobody, and I'm smoking a cigarette. And smoking a cigarette when it's 120 degrees outside, it just hits different. Your whole body's on fire. and I'm done with it, and I flick that butt. And behind me, somebody goes, "Hey, hero, that look like an ashtray to you?" And I turn around, and I didn't look at who said it. I just turned around, and I said, "This whole fucking place looks like a giant ashtray." And I turned around, and it was a command sergeant major. Not mine, but any of y'all been in the military, once you see that CSM patch, you're like,
shit.
well, I done fucked up. So, yeah, I forget what his name actually was. I just know that I was giving a kitty litter scooper, and I was told to clean up as many cigarette butts as I could for the next week, and I picked up millions. I filled lawn and leaf bags, multiple lawn and leaf bags of cigarette butts in
Yeah.
the next week and a half.
It's like stomping on some big dude's Adidas jacket and
Thinking it's your best friend's, but
think
it's
your
not.
best. Yeah, think it's your best friend's
It's
jacket.
the biggest bully in the high school.
Yep.
And then you turn around and make eye contact with that bully.
It's like the size of Chris. He's like 6'5", 300 pounds, all muscle, and I'm sitting there tap dancing on his Adidas jacket. Look over, and I thought it was Brian's, and I look at Brian's wearing Brian's wearing his Adidas jacket. I was like,
So you're still
Shit.
tap dancing, but it slows down. You're like tap tap
tap
tap.
tap tap tap.
Well, I kidnapped
Wait
Brandon
a
Sanders
minute.
from the airport and threw him in the back of the van, forced him to tell me the ending of Wheel of Time.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, and he's seen all the notes, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I'm actually not kidding
That's why
about
your
that either.
pinky's up.
Wait, what?
I believe it.
Repeat.
Oh wow.
Cheaters
Anyway.
are fast, bro. He had no chance of getting away.
Anyway, so he wakes up. Perrin wakes up.
Who's Perrin? What are we talking
Yeah, what are
about?
you talking about? Perrin wakes up, and he wants to go to the Waygate to close it permanently. But the arrow is still there, so that's kind of keeping him down.
And
Yeah, Fael's still with him.
yeah, and Fael's like,
'Cause
"No,
the drugs?"
We're not doing that. If you
Yep,
can't
yep,
play
you're not
ball
doing
with
that.
me, I'll just drug you again."
Thanks, Fayo. Thanks.
So
And interestingly,
And-
Perrin goes outside to talk to Ivan about it, and he's like, so what?
that
Which-
did throw me for a loop a little bit. I was like, so as a warder, you don't care about the fact that there are hundreds of your enemy pouring through a gate that you could go close yourself.
Was it hundreds or thousands?
Well, hundreds to thousands.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was an exaggeration in there. You know, we don't know enough about Slayer to know what.
Let's
he
let's
does
think about this
here.
for a second. Let's say he is telling the truth, and there's thousands of Trollocs now coming into the Two Rivers. What are the chances of them getting out of this thing if there are thousands of Trollocs?
Jesus, hold on. Hold on. Hey! Hey, yeah. No, I know I said you were done. I need you again. Oh, he's coming. He moves slow. It's a tight stairwell. Hey! Are they going to survive? Now he says yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but why? What? No, come here. They need to hear you say it.
Can you hear me? Can you?
Yeah.
So, Perrin is Taviran.
Yeah, thanks,
We
Loyal.
miss you, Loyal.
I
It's been
know.
a few episodes.
I know. Yeah, they don't get it. Alan keeps asking these dumb questions. That's okay. Yeah. He says stop with the dumb questions, Alan.
Yeah.
This
okay.
is
They're gonna
when
survive.
like the hidden people in the mountains finally come to the aid.
There you
I'm
go.
not giving up on that yet.
He said that
Yeah.
his friends would all stop by. Hi.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
Perrin goes to talk to the rest of the Two Rivers men too, and they're like, "Dude, you missed out, man. Like the women here, they do this dance." He's like, "Yeah, I've seen the dance. I've seen it."
Fael's like, "Oh, have you? And did you like said dance? Well,
Did you
can't
like the
wait till
dance?
you see
Huh?
my
Huh?
dance. I want to see
So-
this dance."
They saw drop it like it's hot, and then Fael's like, yeah, but I know Eiffel Tower. And everybody goes, oh, shit. I know Eiffel Tower. Stop talking about it. That's some kinky shit. And if you don't know, come to the Dark Friend Social, and you will learn Drop It Like It's Hot and the Eiffel Tower.
and the bin and snap, and the bin and
And
snap.
right, yeah. That's kind of it's a version of Drop It Like It's Hot, but yeah. I'll even
Yeah.
put on Pizza Maker.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow, man, pulling the big moves. I got to get that together. Yeah. So we are having an event. Mid episode announcement next August. Or, yeah,
Pew, pew,
August.
pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. So if you listen this far to this shit show, you can hear you get to hear all about an event coming up. Not for a while. It's gonna be next August, 2022, first weekend of August. We are hosting the Dark Friend Social. It will be a live in-person event. Limited tickets. Tickets will go on sale at some point when I get my act together and create something for it. So they'll be available to our patrons first, and it might get sold out there. So anyone listening to this now, if you're not a patron, you might want to become a patron because otherwise you might not even come.
Considering
So-
the body count the head count we're allowing, it's probably going to get bought up by patrons.
Yeah, it probably is. But yeah, it'll be fun. We're gonna drink a lot and eat a lot and
Make s'mores
binge snap a lot. It's gonna be fun
and make pizzas
and make pizzas. Yeah.
and macaroni
So-
and cheese.
Yeah, and watch the TV show on repeat if it's good on repeat.
Oh,
Or,
we're
like,
kidding. We're
a
going to
whole
watch
day
it on
straight.
repeat, whether it's good or not. You know.
Yeah, we are.
Either we're accepting it or we're judging it, but it will be on.
It will be
Yeah.
on. It'll be on the entire time. So, back to the story. So after the whole dance thing, they get ready to leave. Perrin tries to convince Rain to move his people once more to Evansfield. We've already alluded to this. And do the show of hands. Yep. Nope. No.
Nah, bro.
No. Not going to
It's
happen.
even worse because he
Yeah.
calls him. He like puts the fear of Perrin in everybody. Perrin wants you all
Yeah.
to give up your way of life and go to the city. No. That was what I saw.
Yeah. And so they head back for Evansfield, and the Aiel join them as soon as they leave. They're like, oh, yep, you leave the Tinkers. We are back with you. And first thing Perrin says is like, hey, did you play Maiden's Kiss? How was it? Did you do good? Did you do good?
5 out of 5 giggities. The answer is no.
And Gaul's like, shut up.
No, he doesn't just say shut up. He's like, girls are so messed up, and girls do all like tricksters and the girly girls, and
They have
I don't
cuties.
like them. Got cute girls got cuties. Yeah, exactly. That's the vibe I got. He's got cooties. Can't trust them.
Yeah,
Girls. Yeah, but I played. Yeah.
they played Maiden's Kiss. Yeah, Matt
Didn't
played
even
Maiden's Kiss.
didn't even give me a safe word.
Yeah.
Fucking spear to the throat. It's messed up.
Yep.
Pythos. Which Aiel, female or male, or which Aiel at this point would you play Maiden's Kiss with?
I can't answer that.
Oh, that's there you go. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
So yeah, they get
Well,
back
I can't
to
answer that. I just can't answer that.
Evansfield,
You don't know the
and-
character yet. But
Gotcha.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. He's hooked on one we're gonna run into. I like it.
Yeah.
Now I have hope.
Yeah. So they get back to Emmonsfield, and they're amazed by all the changes that have happened. There's like a ton of people here. I mean, the force has been cut down and pushed back for bowshot to make it easier to defend themselves. They've even started they started building catapults and stuff like that. I mean, it's like a full on like military operation going on. So, what do you think about all this? Like
This was exciting for me. This is the only
Yeah.
out of the whole 3 chapters. This is the point where I was like, "Well, damn, I am proud of you." Like the fact that you cleared out trees 500 feet so that you have longbow shot. The fact that you set up barricades. The fact that you use the trees that you cut down means you're being green. Like I love
Thank
it.
Lukey Poo.
Like the last time we had archers on the lookout, like people kind of just snuck by them, and now you have people that are like, you know, the hoo-hoo and ski-oo, and you know the calls are going across. If you don't know what that is, I'm sorry. Welcome to the culture. But anyway, you have like all these different calls being going out, and you know, all of a sudden you see people that look like they know what they're doing, and the statement's like, huh,
and they're all
guess the blood's
Yeah,
not
and
all
they're-
gone after all.
whispering, "Oh, look, it's Perrin Golden Eyes.
That
It's
too.
Perrin. It's Perrin. Oh shit, it's Perrin."
No, and then jerky old man Sin Bowie trying to get on the bandwagon. That's where parents' biggest eye roll. I like that parents' biggest eye roll inside came with Sin Bowie being like, "Look, little boy, it's Perrin. We're saved." And Perrin's like, "You know what? Bleep you, man. Bleep you.
Yeah.
You almost ruined all of this."
And on top of everything, is there's a new banner in the middle of the green with a red wolf's head flapping in the wind.
He who comes with the other dawn.
I'm for it. And then we have a little political conversation about
About
Queen ain't
Andor.
gonna like it.
The
And
Queen
then
gonna
Perrin
like
like,
it.
people here don't even know we have a queen. And I'm like, well, queens don't seem to care. And then blah, 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 blah. I'm like, just put the
And
banner
then
up.
when the queen finds
Yeah,
out in
we're
4
down. I don't
years, then they'll figure it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And
By
and
then
then
my boy
Fayo's
will
like,
marry his
well,
daughter.
eventually they're gonna want taxes. And if Perrin's the libertarian that I think he is, he's gonna be like, come on with your tax collectors. I got an axe and a hammer.
Yep.
Bring
Take
it.
care of
But
that.
I mean, won't Rand
Don't step-
marry her
don't step on
daughter and
Snakey.
then just be like, hey, those are my people. Just don't worry about it.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think about the Aes Sedai being behind it? Like, I mean, because they even asked, and Varyn's like, "Well, the group needed a symbol, so this is what we did." And Perrin's like, "Okay," and Fael's like, "Yeah, the Queen's not gonna like this." Oh, of course, we already alluded to that. So, what do you think about Varyn being involved with all of it?
You know, it's
Being in the
funny.
mix.
I think Varen wants to put her spin on history, and wants to see things play out the way she feels they should. And if he's got more
Yep.
power, and you know he's kind of relying on her, then she's got more power. So
Do you know who I compare Varen with? Loyal.
You said this. You
I
shipped
feel
them
like-
before.
Did I?
Yeah, you said they're gonna be a couple.
Oh, they should be. Well, this is the problem with drinking during episodes. Like, there's two characters now. If they turn out to be evil or bad, or if they get killed or whatever, that I'd be pretty upset with. And it's Varen and Loyal. And if Varen somehow turns out to be Black Aja, I mean, anything's possible at this point, or somehow like a threat to our party. Like that's gonna catch me in the feels a little bit. I get the vibe that she's a Brown the way Jordan has made me think about Brown so far. She just normally she's reading from a book about all this stuff, and she's just giddy that she's watching it unfold in front of her.
Yeah.
I don't see anything nefarious about it, but I
As
mean,
far as we
you
know, she's the
read a lot of
brownest
books,
brown
I could be
ever
wrong.
brown.
She's
Yeah.
so brownish. She's browning the shit out of it, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, guys! Like what's happening right now is super significant." And I'm not reading it in a book. I'm like watching it happen. Very happy. And then I feel like Loyal overhears it and goes, "We should write about this." And she goes, "Yes, we should write our own book."
So
Yeah.
she reminds me actually of someone I used to work for. So I used to work for a tutoring agency, and the owner of the tutoring company was as brown could be, because that's what she did. But like, was the type that would go on so many tangents. I would go to work, and like, my job was to one, tutor kids, but then two, also do marketing for her and all those stuff. And I have a whole entire list of things I wanted to do during the day. And I'd show up and like start working, and like within 5 minutes she'd come in like, hey, check this thing I found out online, like, and pull something out like, we're going to talk about this for the next 3 hours. I'm going to pay you to sit here and listen to me talk about volcanoes for the next 3 hours. I'm like, I feel like I'm robbing you right now. Like,
She's thinking volcanoes, and it's worth the investment. You're thinking 15 an hour.
or
I could shut my mouth and pretend to stay awake.
it just goes on and on about volcanoes for like literally 3 hours. I'm like, you know, you're paying me to sit here and listen to you talk about volcanoes. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I feel bad. So yeah, that's who Varen reminds me of. And if we ever get the chance to meet her, any of you guys, you'd 100% it's Varen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then Varen looks at Perrin's wound, says that's beyond my talent of healing, sends for Alana and Daze Conger, the new wisdom. to take care of the wound, and that's how we end this chapter.
She's lucky she didn't kill Perrin though, because she's not a healer, but she still she fingered it. And let me tell you something. Let me ask a question. Okay. Pop quiz. Pythos. Who killed Abraham Lincoln?
Probably the doctors.
Dang it. Chris, who killed Abraham Lincoln?
Well,
You were not supposed to say the doctors, Pythos, but you're right. The doctors killed Lincoln.
Well, you
when the
asked
doctors
the
got
guy
to Lincoln, he
who's
was
a
still very
former
much
nationally
alive.
ranked trivia player. to
There you go. So he gets shot in the head, but he's still alive. But I mean, obviously, like in a coma. And he was probably going to die anyways. Let's be honest. But the doctor was like, "I got to do something." He pulled the Tinker move. He was like, "Anybody else more experienced than me with retrieving bullets from the head? No. Okay. Well, then I'm going to try. We got to try something." And he stuck his finger in his head to try and retrieve the bullet, and that's ultimately what actually killed him. So, yeah,
No,
just so you know.
that was very interesting.
that's
I
what
had
that's
no
what
idea.
surgeons
Yeah.
do. My brother's a surgeon. He's been on our podcast. It's like that's what they
Yeah.
do. Like, it's like, well, we lost another one.
So, like, okay, in the day-to-day, what your brother does, they're not winging it. They're going by science and tried and true. But in the emergency surgeries, sometimes you got to wing it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he has a pretty dark sense of humor. A lot of people have died in surgery. I mean, because he did trauma surgery during residency a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people they weren't dead, but they were dead. Like, if that
They were
makes
heading that
sense.
direction.
Like, yeah, still have to try, but
Yeah.
but
But,
yeah.
but Varen here, knowing she's not a healer, what did she do? She fucking stuck her finger in it. She went, "Oh, this is neat. Oh, that's
Yeah.
bad. Oh, Bobble. Oh,
There's one
got a little
fantasy
infection
character
there,
I would
Bobble,
trust
eh?"
to do
Yeah.
surgery on me, and he is not in this series.
Oh,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It start with a K.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. He's in Brandon Sanderson books.
Ew.
But yeah,
But
so,
Varen was just curious about his wound, and she fingered it. She had no intention, because she knew she couldn't, to heal it.
yeah.
So, and we find out. So, it's the arrow. Was it between in the metacostal space between a rib, or was it embedded in a rib?
I thought
I don't
in a
have to
rib,
open the
but
book back
I may
up.
be misremembering.
I was thinking in a rib. So in a rib is very bad. Like a small fracture to a rib. Okay, kind of bad. Breathing sucks. Sneezing sucks. But like, if it's open to the point where like marrow's exposed, I mean, that's one of the fastest ways to get some like
Sepsis.
horrible septic infection. Yeah, and just fall over and die.
Mm-hmm.
So she's playing around with this, knowing she can't heal it. She's finger. Let me stick my finger in Lincoln's head
Yeah,
in the hole.
yep,
See what I can
yep.
find. Risky.
Bad stuff. Yeah. Risky stuff. Anything we missed from these chapters? I mean, that's how we come to the end. So,
No, I think we covered it pretty thoroughly.
okay. Cool.
Do you, Chris? I feel like Alan tried to get us to talk about this third chapter.
I don't know.
And I derailed every step I could.
It was beautiful.
Because I won't say I got nothing out of it, but like the major themes of this third chapter
Quite
were
literally, the only thought I had was where
Short
did
and
the
sweet.
leaf come from? That was it.
Yeah.
right, which we don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have any
Like,
speculation?
well, I mean, my
That's
one
a-
thought was like, in the dream, did he like go all the way to where the leaves were left, and bring one back to use it to open it, and then did that like do something in the physical world, since we know what happens in the dream world can come through to the physical, or is there somebody else that he's colluding with? And if so, who is he in collusion with? Is it Lanfear?
Lanfear?
I'm just
You talking about wifey.
I'm attacking Lanfear tonight. She's just, I want her to come back.
Yeah. You're gonna get Ian all upset if you talk about Lanfear that way.
No.
Between
No, Lanfear is so hot, she could be like this horrendous criminal, and I'd be like, that's my boo.
That's my boo.
Could be.
between
This is what the
her
first
and
thing-
Elias,
I just want to do hood rat shit
Yes,
with my
sir.
hood rat girlfriend.
between her and Elias, like we're missing two very vital people right now. I need them both to come back, and the end of this book is right around the corner. So
Just around the river bend.
Yeah. So yeah, favorite characters.
Pythos, what you got?
Perrin.
yeah, it's
Perrin.
an easy one.
Well, considering he's one of my favorite characters in
Perrin.
the whole series.
Well, you and Chris gonna get along.
Yeah, I won't pick him this time just because of that. My favorite character will be the single leaf.
The single leaf.
Single leaf. I'm
Going
personifying
inanimate objects.
that single leaf allowed thousands of Trolloc to come through and bring forth the Manethrin spirit. Because there's about to be a big battle at the end of this book. That's
Oh,
prediction.
speaking of leaves, my favorite character is Robert Plant. At least Ian's rendition of
Dun,
Robert Plant.
dun, 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 dun. What do you think I saw? All right, so Pythos, you hinted at this earlier. Bradoff in the beginning, first book, Trollocs come in. Lan, who's an experienced fighter, gets diced up as he's trying to defend a handful of Trollocs. And then we see what Trollocs do, and then we find a Fade, and Fades are effing our characters up. And then now here we are, where all we have really is Perrin, and then a warder steps in at the end. So Perrin and a warder. And then a bunch of these Edmonds Fielder young bucks
And I
with
yield.
bows. And a couple IEL. And they're standing toe-to-toe and they're fighting. So I have to give credit where credit's due, and I give it to all the parents' people that were following them. I give it to all the young Edmund Fielder boys that were out there with their bows and their whatever the fuck else they took with them. I'm
Pitchforks.
assuming maybe there's
torches.
some swords and torches, whatever. The ones that survived, the fact that they hung in there, they were fighting a losing battle.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And the fact that
So,
he gave them an out to
there it
bail
is.
after that and they all stayed.
bingo.
Yep.
That also. They realized the threat and they're like, nope, we're sticking with it. And we didn't even mention the one guy that was like, by the way, I saw my friend and his head was up in a tree, but like the rest of his body wasn't. And I guess he's not too worried about that cold that he had.
Yeah.
Achoo,
Are-
and then he
are-
sneezes. Like
are the-
that was just a really quick, twisted scene.
Didn't they also see someone in the cook pot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless, so we haven't gone back to this in a while, but Jordan, obviously military experience, and we've talked about the list of awards he's had, and we're assuming there was combat experience, and
Oh, there was.
yeah. So, it's interesting that he sprinkled that in there very quickly and then left it. And I feel like, I don't know, our readers, if you're younger or, now we're older, and I've talked to some other readers that are veterans and some that have been to war, or even those that are students of it and just read about it, that might just hit differently.
Yeah,
Man.
that's one thing about Trollocs, because they eat their own and they eat the dead. Like, they don't need supply lines. So you think about from like a warring standpoint, that's huge logistically.
Huge.
If
They just
if an army does not need supply lines,
they just
that's
keep going.
yeah.
They're like rats.
Yeah, exactly. So the next time on the Wheel of Reads, we'll be doing 3 chapters again. 3. Yeah, this is going to be, I think, the last time we do 3 for this book. Let
we
me
have, like,
double
100
check just to
pages
make sure I'm not a liar. What do you say?
So we don't have many pages left.
Yeah, this is going to be the last time we do 3 chapters. And
Can we just race to the end?
we're getting close, but there's a lot of big chapters coming up. But these,
She said.
yeah, so these chapters, the titles are "Care for the Living," is the next chapter, and then "The Breaking Storm," And then the Tinker's Sword.
Oh shit! The Tinker Sword.
Ooh.
That's an
Ah,
oxymoron.
you
That's
took the words
like
out of my mouth.
that's like a large shrimp, military intelligence,
Right out-
a good-looking
right out of my
Allen. That's it's an oxymoron.
Oxymorons.
A seemingly contradictory statement that nevertheless expresses a truth. No, that's a paradox.
Yeah, it's a paradox.
Or, yeah,
Yeah, oxymorons are just contradictory statements.
yeah.
So yeah, those are our next 3 chapters. I mean, it'll be fun.
Pythos, I had a lot of fun hanging out with you, bro.
Yeah.
The first 2 chapters, as I'm trying to talk about the books, you know what I was doing in my mind? 90% of my mind was focused on that
To cheat on
mask. Are we calling it a mask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that doesn't even do it justice. It was
Yeah.
very freaking cool.
Well,
That's
I
cool.
can give you the person who
Anything,
made it,
Pythos,
but
you
she
wanna-
charges ridiculous prices. So
Yeah.
that one
Anything,
wasn't even a
Pythos,
custom.
you want to add?
That
or
was a pre-made.
ask?
The customs are like $3,000.
Oh.
That was super cool.
Oh wow. So, anything you want to add or question these guys about before we end this chapter?
No, I mean yes, but I don't want
Okay.
to
Cool.
lead them to anything, so I'll
Spoil.
say no.
So we'll see you in a book or 3.
Where you lead me, I will follow.
Yeah.
Where you lead me, I will follow. I'll go with
See
you,
you in 2 or 3 books.
with you,
Yeah.
all the way.
Yeah. All right. So how we can be found? We can be found at The Wheel Reads on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and anywhere where your
TikTok, you don't-
podcast.
Stop. When you
Yeah,
TikTok,
TikTok's
you
fun.
don't
I've been
stop,
making lots
stop.
of. I've been making lots of TikToks. I need to stop. But it's a lot of fun. Sorry, Tree. I did spill some of your art design today on TikTok because it was cool. It got a lot of views. So yeah, the new
Lawsuit.
lawsuit. I mean, we're paying for it. Whatever. Yeah, so you can email me, thewillreads@gmail.com. If it doesn't go to my spam folder, I will email you back immediately. If it does go to the spam folder, I check those about once a month, so I'll get to you eventually. Other than that, you can go check us out on our website. It is thewillreads.com. And you can find links to all sorts of stuff, such as our podcast itself, or you can find links to things like our merchandise. So we have new t-shirt designs coming. A lot of fun there. Gonna be doing more giveaways soon. I think next month I'm gonna do 3 giveaways. 3. So gonna be fun. So keep tuned to all the social medias. If you're not following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, those are the places I do giveaways on. So
Someone wants to say something.
I do giveaways in all those places. And if
There's a
you
kitty cat coming.
there's
Pause.
a kitty cat.
Kitty cat.
Wait, there's a kitty cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard the meow. I knew it was coming. What is
there
the
it
name of this kitty
Her name is
cat?
Ming.
Men
Ming.
Lovely.
with a G. Ming.
Oh, Ming.
Okay. Ming. Okay. And yeah, I thought it might have been a Wheel of Time name. Like Daniel Green has Pips for his cat. Matt's horse, Pips. Who we've already met, Pips. But yeah, and then where was I? Yeah, merch. Go buy our merch or win it by following us on different social medias. Also, I do give away every once in a while on Discord. I'm gonna start doing that more often. So come join our Discord. You can find links to that through our website as well. Come join the 550 people that are in our server, and that a lot of first-time readers that we love to death, and they are very active, typing their way through the series, and we love their thoughts, and we love to hear yours if it's your first time, or if it's not, and you just are a veteran reader. We love to hear your thoughts in our spoiler sections. And then also how to support us. You can support us through Patreon. Patreon's a great way to support us. You get to listen to us live and listen to us really just not know what we're doing. And you get early access at different levels, early access to episodes. You might get to be on our episode like Pythos here. Occasionally, we
Ayo.
occasionally we do invite a patron on. It's not a set level perk. It's one of those things that like I might invite you.
It's like we
It's
love
a
you.
maybe.
Come on, help us out.
It's like maybe if you join, I might invite you. It's like it's not a guarantee. It's just like, we'll see. So, but I won't invite you if you don't join. So there you go. So come join us. $1 minimum level, $1 a month. You can help save a starving Ian, and then like, subscribe, share us, write some reviews. We like all that stuff. It's fun, and that's all I got. So
Why don't you take a good look at yourself and describe what you see? And baby, until next time.
okay, bye.
Okay, bye. I love that you've added K bye. That's the highlight.